previously on Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm so ready.
Our intrepid adventurers made their way into the world of Atharis. After each one of our players and their characters received, for whatever reason, for differing reasons, the sole objective from one, the Nightseer Sage, to seek out the penumbral vestibule and find within a diadem that was once a phylactery to a long since forgotten lich. You made your way deep within the vestibule itself, fighting your way through undead forces, unique and interesting arcane traps, figuring out the puzzle of the door as you placed the two spheres you found within this vestibule into the concave recesses of this massive door depicting this grandiose battle that seemed to take place many, many years ago. Within, you found an incredibly powerful lich-like being that seemed to have these Goliath... what was the guy from Mortal Kombat with the forearms called again?
Goro.
Very Goro-like structure with multiple arms, the bones themselves encased in these silvered runes that filled the bones. And after a bit of, a bit of pleading, a bit of monologuing, and a slight amusement from him, he decided to personally take an interest in your demise. As you were all ripped away, very Terminator 2 style, as you guys were just ripped apart by the sheer forces of heat as he released this ball of sunlight in your direction, you all found yourself floating in a vast, empty space. That pain no longer filling you, every moment of your existence just disembodied, until suddenly you all saw this strange little spark of sunlight kind of emanate from what would be your chests. You saw some of that same energy, Aram, kind of veer off to your side while you're in this disembodied state, as a small little ember of that took on the form of Nico. And as the rest of you five.
Five.
Sorry, I'm getting used to the new number of party members.
Five alive, baby. Oh.
Suddenly, as that warmth filled you once again, you felt your physical being come into being once again. And as that light kind of receded back into your chest, you swear for a moment you all heard some kind, benevolent voice just calling out, stressing, death is not the end. And you found yourselves stirring and awakening within a strange chamber, incredibly dark, filled with bones and mud and muck in all directions. And as you all started to kind of stand up and collect your bearings, a strange-looking figure entered the chamber, one that we now know to be Yezhin. A green-haired, gnomish figure wearing a crossbow. At the time of introductions, however, he had it at the ready. And as he took notice of 5 living entities standing atop this massive pile of what was once living beings, now refuse, screamed out, saying to immediately get down from there. And as you guys started to depart down this kind of hillside of bones and muck and mud, suddenly skeletons started to extend their hands outright, trying to reach out at whatever they could grab. You all, for the most part, managed to avoid being pulled at by the bones and followed suit. Introductions being made along the way. Yezhin guided you through an adjacent chamber, narrowly missing the wide swing of a massive battle axe from a Minotaur skeleton, taking you across a makeshift trench that seemed to be lined with varying different weapons kind of pointing upright, providing additional defense to whatever these undead forces may be that reside here within the ditches. After narrowly making it across and pulling the kind of makeshift bridge back to the other side, you all collected yourselves and were guided past a strange kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of a dredger prison-like area or chamber, seemingly open and adjacent. Eventually stepping into the actual dredger camp itself, where introductions were made. You all met Abradus, the male half-elven figure, seeming to be a bit eccentric, but also seems to have some knowledge of the smith here, as he had conveyed to you a little bit of what he did to help provide aid for this small little settlement down here in the ditches. Borjo, you followed suit, giving chase after Yezhin as he heard apparently one of the other members of the Dredgers here was hurt while out on a hunt earlier that day. He followed suit inside, giving statements and exclamations of concern. You, immediately after learning more about who she is and what was going on, offered to provide aid through the assistance of one of your allies. Calling the professor over, he eventually headed suit, reluctantly unable to provide aid as the days, or who knows how long it had been since you entered that vestibule, but after what felt like today's events, unfortunately was not able to provide aid at the time. Aram and Greg, the two of you, I believe, remained back by the fire, continuing your conversation with Abradus, eventually meeting a number of other individuals. I believe the blue dragonborn female, Karagner, introduced herself as one, as much as one could call themselves an arcane specialist. She claimed to be as such. Eventually, Rin, you eventually headed towards the barrack-like space where the professor and everybody else seemed to have retreated for the night. Greg, you lingering ever so slightly behind at the fire, made introductions with Miss Doyinta, the kind of meek, somewhat nervous yet excited ruin delver would be probably the best describer. She would be very much akin in spirit to the professor on some levels, but very meek and very somewhat reserved as you made introductions with her.
That's Doyaneta, right? Doyanta?
Doyinta.
Doyanta.
Okay.
And what was she again?
Female human.
Yeah,
Female human.
I put a star next to her, and I wanted to talk to her for some reason. I'm trying to remember why.
For sure. But eventually, as the professor was unable to provide any healing aid to Lemnor, during Borjo and Yezhin's discussion, Lemnor eventually was greeted by one that you two learned was an individual by the name of Secher. Secher, Secher. Strange, kind of wooden, fleshed like human, strangely notched fingertips that you saw gently caressing a cup to the lips of Lemnor as she imbibed whatever tea or concoction that Secher was providing. And eventually, as exhaustion began to take even you, Gregard, eventually you headed towards the adjacent chamber, and like the rest of your party, eventually let unconsciousness take you. Aaron. It's hot. Overwhelmingly hot. The day, the full exhaustion of the day, tilling the fields. You can feel it in your bones. It's like it's been an overwhelming day. The exhaustion just overwhelmingly taking you from the heat of the summer's day, and you think that's what this is in the moment. But as your eyes start to kind of flicker open and you look around in your home, you see flames licking the walls of the adjacent chamber and smoke billowing underneath the door of your bedroom. What do you do?
Oh, shit.
I think I would quickly. I get quickly up, looking for something. I guess would be. How old am I?
Well, you tell me. According to the notes that we took on the, how old were you at the time when this event took place? Because I know you know what this is.
Very young.
I want to say you were probably like 5 to 10. Like at
yes,
most.
very young. Oh man, I probably cry out for my mother and father.
Give me a performance check.
Okie dokie. Wow. 21.
21.
Nice.
You call out, and you are calling out with every ounce of your being. Give me a perception check.
Ooh, 9.
9. Okay, yeah, with a 9, don't really hear much. You see the flames are starting to lick more and more around the windows.
It's probably really smoky and really loud because
starting
of the fire.
To fill up, exactly.
There. You said there's windows. I guess I would go to the window and just try and get out because I can't get out through the door or anything like that. Can I? Or is the door like on fire?
You see smoke coming underneath the door.
I'd go try the door first.
Presumably this is a rather modest home, so no locks on the doors really. So you go up to the door and it opens. As you do, you are met with a gust of smoke and hot air as you slide the door open. As you start to kind of wade your way through the smoke, just trying to get a view of like the kind of central space of your homestead, you can see the walls themselves licking with flame. Everything seems to have been thrown around to some extent. You look over off into the distance and you can see the kind of main doorway to your homestead to your left, and you can see where your parents' room, adjacent on the opposite side of the homestead here, is currently, the door is closed. You can see those two doors, and again, kind of a ramshackled, disheveled kind of living space.
I would run to my parents' room and try and knock on the door and shout at the door, try to open the door.
Beautiful. So you start running towards that door, and as you do, suddenly one of the kind of support beams up in the top part of your house, being consumed by these flames, starts to collapse and fall down. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Natural 20. So
Hell
25.
yeah. So you manage to dive out of the way as this massive beam comes crashing down. Literally, like catty corner, cutting off the front of the doorway to your parents' house. Or not to your parents' house, but to your parents' room.
It's on fire then too, right?
Presumably now the flames do start to lick up along that wall, and a lot of the kind of thatched roof now collapsing in is just fueling the flames in that collapsed spot where it is now fallen.
I guess at this point I'm gonna turn to find the
give
front
me
door.
A Constitution saving throw, actually, real quick.
Sure. 5.
5, yeah. Okay, so you take 1 point of exhaustion. You are now considered blinded. And you are now starting to suffocate. So what is your constitution modifier?
It's 1.
So you could hold your breath for all of 2 minutes.
I gotta get out of here then. I go towards the front door. If there's a pathway, it's not engulfed in flames and stuff already.
Absolutely. I will say, give me one last perception check as you kind of dodged out of the way as that beam was coming down, and you were focusing on your parents' door.
For sure. Another natural 20. 21.
No, 21. Yeah, you do manage to notice as it collapsed down, your parents' bedroom door looks somewhat damaged, and not by the fire. Before you leaped out of the way, before that pillar came crashing down. That is something you noticed. But again, the heat is beginning to become overwhelming. If you are in here much longer, you will start taking heat damage because it is just that hot in here now.
No, I would try and get out of the house, I guess, at this point. You know, if I can't get to my parents' room and they're cut off and they're not listening to me, I would be running to the door to get out.
Okay.
Or a window, or whatever way.
There isn't a
perception roll.
No. I mean, you know your house. There's an adjacent front door to your homestead. So you run the 10 feet over the door. You kind of push that door open as it opens outward to the field, and you kind of start to stagger down, just trying to catch your breath. Clear your eyes of the soot and smoke, and you start to kind of just look back at the sheer destruction of.
I'm sure I'm crying and tears are coming down my eyes.
Yeah. I mean, you're a
my
little
parents
kid.
weren't listening to me when I was yelling.
You were calling for them, and I mean, it's really, I think, hitting you right now, turning around and just seeing your home just enveloped in flames. The windows themselves cracking and bursting out on the sides. As you can see, your parents' room filled with flames.
Do I see anybody? Did anybody else get out of the house?
You look around. You're not very good at this right now. I'm gonna say, give me a survival check at disadvantage, because you're just a kid.
Sure. Oh. I'll roll another one. Hold on. So that would be a 7.
A 7. Okay. And that was let's see. Survival? Yeah. No, I mean, you just, I would say you are just too overwhelmed with emotion right now. You are watching your home burn down, and with that natural 20 perception before you dodged, I'm even going to give you one little bit of even worse. You swear you thought you heard the cry of your younger brother and the whimper of your mother just before that dodge.
Gotcha.
Okay. But you are not hearing it where you are now.
But it was inside, so yeah, okay.
You heard it coming from the other side of that door.
Yeah. But they weren't coming to the door and everything. Gotcha.
No. So you turn back, because I mean, I would think your first instinct is like, I don't know, you tell me, but I mean, you have this kind of like small little dirt trail that's maybe like 30 feet off, and then it starts to hit like main road.
I'd probably be sitting there crying for a while.
Okay.
I wouldn't have left. I would be probably crying till it stopped burning.
Okay, that's a long time. So I will stress that after a time, neighboring farms, and the farmsteads, the farm owners that have them definitely are going to come out and check out a huge ass fucking fire.
I think by then I would have bailed, to be honest with you. That's what would have happened. I'd probably have gotten really scared because mom and dad, and I'm crying for them, and no one's there, and I'm looking and just running, and I just run off.
Okay, so this is what I'll say then. You kind of run back, as far as you can, starting clearing your breath. You're kind of halfway down that like dirt path. You turn, you
Uh,
see your home burning to the ground. Your mother and brother presumably within, and as you kind of collapse down there for a moment, just processing it, the flames kind of reflecting in your teary halfling eyes as you stare
uh-huh.
at this destruction. You start to hear the approach of a wagon and that's being drawn by two horses, the clatter of hoof, hitting road,
And that would go. Yeah, I
and you get
ditch right then and there,
startled and you
and
just
I.
immediately book into the nearby field, disappearing into the high grass.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and later that night, as you fell asleep, I presume possibly in tears. You tell me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, but
I'd probably go to my hiding spot, place where I go and hang out down like by like the little creek nearby, and I'd probably just be like hiding in the little tree, like in between the roots, and just kind of like nestled in my little hiding hole, just crying and sobbing my tears to sleep, basically, because I'm alone.
of course. And as you're kind of drifting into unconsciousness, as sheer exhaustion takes you once again, finally, when it does, again, it's hard to gauge day night cycles too much, especially if you're in like a forested area here within Nova Stoya. But as unconsciousness takes you, you are greeted with one happy memory. Immediately, you see yourself kind of running through the fields just by your home. It's ornately lit by the kind of semi red black sun that kind of is in the negative space where a sun should be in the Nova Stoya territories. But it's a good day. It's a happy day. And suddenly you hear that same familiar song that you remember her humming to
Uh-huh.
so many times when you were such a little halfling. And as you start to kind of stir and awaken in your cot here within the ditches, suddenly you're kind of stirred to the shock and realization where your back is kind of aching and kind of sore as you've been kind of basically sleeping on dirt and hay for the entire night. And again, the area here is not conducive for recuperation. It is disgusting.
Uh-huh.
But as you kind of look over at the adjacent cot, you can see what appears to be Bourgeot humming this tune.
Huh.
Bourgeot, what does this tune sound like? No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, no, come on, let this happen, please. It'll be awesome. Come on, Borjo, do it.
Loo 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 loo.
Lou, 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 you got some apples. Lou, 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 you got some too?
It's definitely something very soft. Like I would almost compare it to like something like that. Very very soft. Very yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Oh yeah.
I think I would just clock that and keep it to myself for now, and just kind of, just get up for my day, I guess, at that point.
Absolutely. And I'd say as you were getting up, 1 second. Where's it at? Sorry, I read through a lot earlier, guys. Give me a second. I'd say, as you're kind of hopping out of the cot, you can see Yezhin is already awakened, kind of standing, and he kneels at an alcove where the Laneshi woman you previously, I don't know if you actually made acquaintances with. I believe she was already passed out.
No, I didn't.
At the time. So you see a Laneshi woman kind of lying there, and he holds her hand in two of his, whispering solemnly to her. They share kind of a quiet laugh, and then the Laneshi woman kind of falls back to sleep. And you can see Yezhin smiles for a moment as he kind of shifts back over into his alcove and sits down for a moment, seemingly thinking for a second. And suddenly you see the kind of meek, young, maybe like 30, 32 ish looking scholarly woman, Doyanetta, kind of poke her head into the area. New blood. We're gathering. Abradus wants us to talk. And she kind of pokes her head back up.
I guess I'd go to everybody and just kind of start waking them up. Be like, Radis wants to talk to us outside, guys.
I'm up.
I guess I'd start going out there to sit next to Abradis at the fire or wherever they are at the moment.
Yeah, Professor and Greg are still, and Arthur are still pretty passed out, it would seem.
I jump up enthusiastically and skip behind Aaron.
Okay. Let's see. So.
Do the other ones not wake, not even open their eyes?
I don't know.
Gregory starts to wake up as well. But before he follows the group, he's going to cast a little water ball spell on himself and use the water to rehydrate.
No, that's not a real spell. That's a homebrew spell that I'm playing with. That is not a real spell.
What's not a real spell?
A water ball. It's something I'm playing with because, again, I'm trying to find a way to do like an all water caster, but it's still a little too overpowered for a cantrip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you have it prepared for that blood wizard we have in another campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, well it's not real. I have shape water. Okay, I guess, can I look around for any sources of water in this cave where we're at? Do I see any dripping water or any pools of aqua?
The sweat from my face. Okay.
Ew. Ew.
Ew, I'm like,
Trying to
gross.
Well, let me learn a different spell then. I thought that was real. I saw that on my druid back in the day, so I thought it was real.
No. That's a spell that I've been kind of fucking with off and on.
Shape
Cool
water is
cantrip.
shape water is real, but water ball is not.
Yeah.
That's a work in progress.
I'm trying to look at the map here.
In shape water, don't you need water to shape? You don't create water. Isn't there clerics have a spell called create food and water? So
Yes. But
maybe that's a cleric spell.
That's
I character
Well, I mean,
saying this
I mean, yeah, like above table, like
above table.
I guess
Yeah, that's on cleric. Hoo, out in the background.
if
But like shape water is, yeah, you need to have some source of water. However, it depends on the description and the DM's ruling. So Like, if we're all in like a lava environment and we're all like, we have the ability to sweat. If worded correctly, you can certainly try to absorb our sweaty water and form it into something, but it all depends on the scenario and the situation.
Oh, from what I understand, he has to like completely submerge his body in water.
Oh, yes, right, because he's amorphous. Yeah,
Amphibious, but
amphibious. Yeah.
Wrong race choice.
Everybody, pee on him quick.
That's gross.
I will
John,
give you an
why?
opportunity to make a roll to see if you can somehow find the source of however they're getting their water here. So give me a. We're gonna say this is an investigation check.
The raw drinking.
A what?
8.
Yeah, you're unsure of exactly where the water source is at.
I'm gonna
You're
go
too dehydrated.
any water around here?
You're going up to. Who are you asking?
Wherever everybody was walking towards. They're walking.
Yezhin walked out of these little barracks where all of you guys are at. The Laneshi is currently unconscious.
It's Evan, the guy who kind of led us here. That's what I would ask.
So you
Yezhin?
follow after Yezhin to where he went and met up with everybody else?
Yes.
Okay. So presumably the two of you walked out, Aaron and Borgio. A moment later, Greg followed. Professor, what are you doing? And Arthur, what are you doing?
Sleeping.
Still sleeping?
Aren't we all still sleeping?
Nobody
I mean,
woke me
that's-
up.
I went to
That's what
everybody. I went to everybody and woke them up.
No, you were like, they just want to talk to us outside. I sleep heavier than that, bro.
I go up. Well, I go up to everybody and
Well-
wake them up. Is what I did.
Okay.
Said. I go up to everybody and wake them up and be like, they want to see us outside, guys.
Alright, I'm coming.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm coming. Hold on, let me put my stuff on. Oh,
Okay. So you start to adorn your armor, and the professor, you're still sleeping?
No, I woke up.
Okay.
And I'm following
I-
along.
the professor's next to my bed. As soon as he rolls back over, I kick his bed. Get up.
Okay. I mean, it's mostly
Yeah.
rock and soil and hay, but he hears a little bit of a chip of the soil as you. It's kind of like those adobe clay style. But anyway. So you two start getting dressed and eventually start joining the rest of everybody. Since the three of you stepped out first, as you guys kind of step out into the more open area here, lit by the campfire, you can see Abradus seems to be leading some sort of light discussion as he waits for everyone to kind of start gathering around the fire. Seemingly including all five of you. And as you two were the first ones to head out before Greg, the two of you kind of join in. And actually, since you two are the first ones there, both of you guys give me wisdom checks. Borgio and Aram.
Deez, let me help you with that armor here.
Oh, thanks, pal.
Yeah, here. Help me. Heavy armor's a bitch, I swear.
That's a 2 for me.
Oh, shit.
Not very wise.
I got a 5.
A 5? Yeah. Now you guys just start walking up
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. 15.
15.
Not 5. 15.
15? Okay. So actually, Aram, you, as you actually start to approach and kind of wiggle your way through some of the kind of more taller folk here, approaching this fire, this gathering, this meeting, you do kind of get just the slightest hint that Abradus and some of the others seem to almost be rejuvenated or reinvigorated as they take notice of your presence. Like, you know, somebody new has come. You know,
Like, not like a fresh blood kind of thing, or like
not necessarily in a malicious intent. No,
more of like a hopeful kind of intent.
correct. With the 15, that's what the vibes you would be picking up.
Okay.
And you hear as you kind of approach. My new arrivals, Abrada says. We have much to talk about. You've doubled our number, give or take. Given we're all in this together, I have a proposal for you. First, though, actually interrupts a creature that can only be described as kind of a human-sized. It's hard to tell because the figure themselves has a great deal of their face obscured. But as they kind of place their hand out, you can see these strange kind of it's almost very Pinocchio-esque, the kind of wooden hand that outstretches and says no. And as you take notice of the kind of jawline reflecting the firelight, it doesn't reflect like flesh. It reflects almost like polished wood. And this creature kind of interrupts. We'd like to learn a thing or two about you. Where you're from, how you got here, how skilled you are with a blade, or any other applicable skills to keeping us all alive. We must must all pull our weight.
I heard blade. What? Sorry, we're late. Heavy armor.
You're more than welcome.
Okay. My name is Aaron. I'm just handy with a blade. Not too shabby with a bow. I'm from, I guess you could say, Estoya. We were us together as a party. We were on a task to retrieve a sapphire circlet. I believe, was it sapphire or was it emerald? One of those colors. Emerald.
It was a sapphire. And
sapphire circlet, and we ran into a little trouble, and we ended up here.
Doyanetta kind of chimes in. A circlet, you say? What is the
a fancy crown? You know what a circlet is. Come on.
No, but I'm
actually
curious of the origins.
It's kind of like tarnished.
I actually point to Bourgeot. Don't you have it, sir?
I'm still wearing it, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah, it's right there on his neck. It kind of blends in. It kind of makes his it kind of has that essence with his great axe, as you say.
Yes. This is the item we're after. If you'd like to look at it, I'll hold it out to them.
She reaches up and she takes it. Oh, this is fascinating. This definitely looks pre-Estonian Empire. Definitely old.
Do you know the importance
I'd love
of this
some time to study
amulet?
it, but of course, it belongs to you. I'll return it. Thank you.
We're just, I'm just a little confused to where we are. I thought I had died, but
Yeah,
is this
I know
the afterlife?
we've all been in shock, but like Are we like in between life and death or what?
Well, none of us really know if this is truly the afterlife. Many of us believe it is. Some question whether we're somewhere between. And this is Abradus chiming in. We colloquially call this place the Ditches. But, certainly you heard her message. Like we all did.
Is that what that thing was?
When you died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty much like frozen in place, but yeah, it seemed like it was toying with us. Really pissed me off.
No, I would not say that was not the sensation I felt upon my death when I found myself here.
So we are dead. This isn't suffering?
Oh, I can't say it's not suffering.
What voice are you talking about? I don't remember the voice.
Yeah, you remember that fucking creepy looking dude that fucking froze you and me.
Before, but was that Lich the voice he's talking about? I mean, the Lich is not a voice. Lich is a
No, we heard a woman's voice after we died that said death is not the end, and then we came back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's somebody different than the Lich.
Oh
Yes.
no, I'm a bit confused right now. My head kind of hurts. Did I get hit in the head, guys?
So we might be dead, we might not be dead, but let's cut down to bottom brass tacks here. You want to know what we can do for you. Now, I've only been with these guys for a little bit of time, but I'll say we're pretty skilled, and I think we could help. I mean, my friend Archimedes here, he's absolutely brilliant. I've seen him do things I can't even begin to fathom. My friend Aaron here, he's quick with a blade and he's rather sneaky. This man here in this nice armor, he's pretty good
thank
with
you.
as well.
I got
You see
bit of a spearman.
Limnor kind of crutches over and joins everybody at the fire, seemingly awakened and joins
And our
us.
froggy friend here is also pretty good. I've seen him do some crazy things to skeletons. He fucks them up real good.
Hey, and this guy right here who's talking, I mean, he is great with the axe. His words are cunning like his axe blade.
I'll pull my axe out and like spin it around in my hand.
Good job, Borgio.
You just see the kind of slightly hooded figure kind of nod in acknowledgement. You hear Limnor kind of cut in for a moment. Then you're all skilled warriors. The others don't like to talk about it, but well, there's only one way out of here. The ditch gate.
And what's the ditch gate? Where is this ditch gate?
Well, it's a bit difficult to get to. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm not in the best of circumstances right now. And Abradus tries to like cut in and immediately start to dissuade Limnor from kind of saying any more, but the mere
Whoa! Why would you let her talk?
But the mere mention of the gates of the sun causes the entire group of the dredgers to kind of like start talking all at once. As you kind of jump in right there, so does everybody else currently in the ditches right now, and the conversation kind of starts to dissolve into chaos. The last thing you can hear is Abradus kind of saying, People died the last time we tried. Even if we have the people, we don't have enough skill or supplies for another attempt. And kind of in this chaotic moment, as people are kind of chiming in this chaotic chorus, what do you all do?
Are they all like arguing amongst each other? Like it starts out like bickering and then it gets intense.
Now it's like 15 different conversations happening between all the different people here.
I'm gonna slam my spear down and use thaumaturgy in my voice with I don't kind of realize it, but I'm like, stop arguing amongst each other.
Like Gandalf. You shall not pass. Or like when he's like in the thing, the shadows, like his shadow gets bigger.
And like when my spear hits the ground, there's like this slight spark of light, and I try to hide it. Like in my eyes, I'm kind of like, oh shit, like what just happened? But I'm kind of like playing along with it.
Okay, give me a charisma intimidation check.
Sweet. Guys, how do I do this?
Roll an intimidation check.
Yeah, go on D&D Beyond and just click.
Oh, yeah. I got it. It's on my app. It's faster on my app. So, intimidation, here we go. Oh, shit. 21, baby.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Stop this arguing!
All right, as you kind of pull your sword and kind of strike it to the ground, as you exclaim this statement, the commotion immediately is abated. It just suddenly goes quiet, and people start to kind of look at each other. Some with soured looks, some with weird sneers and snickers. But they all kind of calm themselves to a certain degree and rest around the fire. And kind of...
We are here to discuss a plan and not argue amongst each other. Listen and obey each other's opinion.
Bradis and Doyanetta kind of chime in for a moment, and Bradis kind of looks to you with a kind of a weary smile and says, "Too much time down here wears upon anyone and everyone's spirit. Don't think poorly of them. They all want what's best for us, and I want to get out of here as much as the rest of us, but the creature at the gates is far too dangerous. We all need to prepare before we make the attempt. Here, if you'll hear me out."
Yeah, what is this creature you speak of?
It's a powerful undead necrotic beast that guards the gate. Last time we attempted to storm it, we lost over half our number. We're not ready.
My gosh.
We're here now.
Archimedes, excuse me, D's. He likes to be called D's. Exactly. You do not have us, and we are here now.
As I requested, hear me out. I have a request.
Jeez.
I'm sure the others have things that they'd like to hear, your help with as well, but if we better prepare ourselves, bolster our rations, our defenses, get ourselves to full strength, then we might have a chance.
As he says rations, my stomach growls.
Oh.
There is...
What is that tornacious noise? Oh. Are
The
you
longer
hungry?
we're down here,
You hungry?
the less rations we have, more exhausted we become. We're basically just rotting until we attack this gate, so how long must we wait? How long must we prepare for this?
Borgio, do not take this in negativity. Oh,
We must remain patient and vigilant. It takes however long it takes, but with your help, that could be far, far sooner.
well,
Just tell us what we must do.
you have my shield and spear.
If you can scavenge some materials for me, for my smith, I can use the material to help fortify our defenses here, help make the camp safe. With safety,
What materials are you needing?
just scrap metal, anything that you can find.
Is there a specific location? I mean,
The ditches,
the ditches. Like,
anywhere
Can-
you can find it.
can you like, here, there's dirt on the ground. Can you like draw this, like a description? I mean, we used to do this back in Norastoria, so.
No, fortunately, I don't have a map for you. It's
Well, this
whatever scrap you can find.
Well, just tell us in your best manner.
I think he just did.
Well, that is what you can do.
Is there anything else you might need?
That's the best way you can help me, but as I said, I'm sure the others probably could use your help as well.
Which others? Sorry, my head is still.
I
Dredgers.
nudge Arthur and I kind of like point to everybody else that's around here, and that was.
Well, you don't have to
right in front of
nudge
us.
me because, like, as soon as I say "oh my head," like I bend over, so like I'm like face level with you right now. Like,
Still doesn't matter. I still nudge you.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, man. We just need to talk and be friendly with everybody and see what we could do to assist. And the more people we help, probably the easier time we'll have getting out of here. They've been here for longer than we have, and so
Yeah,
they know best.
Exactly. You
Correct.
you have such a great sense of reason and logic. I apologize for my situation. My just being down here in my head is just
Kragner kind of chimes in after a moment, and you kind of look over. She starts to speak. You can see the kind of firelight lightly reflecting off of her blue dragonborn scales as she kind of leans over. She's wearing kind of a set of kind of heavy orange and kind of black trimmed and red robes. It's kind of like a makeshift staff at her side. She kind of leans on it near the fire, and she kind of looks up at everyone sullenly. Her blue scales kind of just glinting there in the firelight. "This is so trivial," she growls. "We have the manpower to attack, so we oughtn't to be wasting our time arguing when we could be doing field research or making preparations. Speaking of which, legend has it that the monster before the gates is a gigantic undead monster. Is that correct, Abradus? I'd like to learn more about it. If any of you could obtain a tissue sample, that should be enough."
point me in the right direction, and I will get you that sample.
I can detect them dead. David says over kind of raises his hand. Lead us to the direction.
Borgio, you could put that axe to good use here.
Just tell me what to hit.
Hey, you got my shield, mate.
Can Gregor now ask about the water situation to Yezhin or whatever?
Yezhin's kind of there with everybody, kind of now more quietly communicating with a lot of the people in the fire. If you go up to him, "Hi, how you doing, Greg? How can I help?"
How was that? You remember? Oh, excuse me. I kind of have a skin condition where I sort of need to stay moisturized or get a lot of disadvantages. Are there any sources of water around here that I could maybe use to freshen up?
Well, I'm sure we can get you in contact with Sekar. He he actually is kind of the source of the camp's water supply. Um, he uses his magics to create our water, but he can create a decent amount. I'm sure he can find some way to help you if you work something out after the meeting.
I appreciate that. What was his name again? Sorry.
Sekar,
Settler. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
no problem.
Looking forward to working with on this mission.
No, and that's why we need to reinforce the traps. As he kind of jumps back into like a bit of a conversation going off onto the side. Dorianetta actually comes up to you as you're kind of looking away from him, Greg. She kind of groans and kind of steps kind of closer over to you, almost out of the conversation of everybody else. And when she kind of faces you, she blanches and looks down at her feet. They don't understand, she mutters. I want to escape, but there's so much left to learn. If we leave, they'll never turn back.
Who won't turn back?
The other dredgers. There's a veritable treasure trove of knowledge to be learned here. Of a lost civilization that nobody knows about. This could be the last remnants.
Yeah. It's possibly exciting, interesting for sure.
Fascinating is the correct word.
Thanks.
It's amazing. If you are going to help Abradus and help look for supplies, if you find any artwork or tools or really anything that you can find of the remnants of that ancient civilization, I'd be ever so grateful.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for anything. Bring it back here.
I appreciate that. I wish you well, Gregor. And she kind of walks creepily kind of off to the side. And Lemnor kind of comes up next to you, Borgio, kind of tiny timming it up a little bit as she's kind of on the crutches. And she kind of leans on the crutch and tries to fold her arms. The attack needs to happen. Abradus might be right, but there's a lot left to do, even with extra hands, and I know my heart wouldn't be in it if I couldn't find Coral. Whatever's left of her.
Yeah, as desperate as I am to get out of here, these people need to be armed at the very least. I'd also like to know what exactly we're facing, but I have some weapons to spare, but I don't know if it's enough. And I have 2 hand axes and an extra javelin, just if anybody needs these, I don't know. Whatever supplies we need to get, I say we get them now. I can feel it in my bones. This place is just, it seems to be weighing on us all.
Yeah, I feel it in my head. Oh.
Abradus kind of chimes in. Well, I can warn you that the undead here have strange and cruel magic about them. Keep your wits about you. Even the slightest scratch from some of the creatures here can be fatal, if you are unprepared. And as You kind of say that. Secker kind of just lightly tuts beneath the robe and gives a light nod to the party and seems to head back over to the adjacent side of the chamber, tending to the kind of makeshift herbal garden that he seems to take care of. Yejin kind of glances back over at you guys and kind of starts to guide Limnor back over to the barracks so she could properly start to rest. And you can see a kind of trepidation. Actually, give me an insight check, everybody.
Oh, right.
17.
17. Yeah.
I got a 20.
20? Yeah.
I got a dirty 20 as well.
Yeah, everybody hit it out of the park. So, Abradis...
Solid 3 for me.
A what?
A solid 3 for me.
Oh, except for Borgio. But...
Inspiration, I grab him.
Everybody, except for Borgio, catches that, Abradis does seem genuine, that he really does genuinely want to get out of here as much as everybody here. But he does, especially with all your guys' roles, he genuinely believes he needs materials to be able to craft some weapons to reinforce the base for everybody to bolster their strength to then, in one fell swoop, try to make it out of here. But he doesn't believe that you guys are ready. And
What I
that the rest of the camp
remember-
are ready.
So that giant pile of skeletons we were on was, I mean, they've been there before, but like, were any of the skeletons have any sort of metal on them or anything like that? What I've remembered
There may have
from
been
that.
stuff in that chamber. You guys didn't really get a lot of time to investigate it, unfortunately.
Yeah, because like that trench of weapons that you mentioned, like, was there anything like salvageable, like easy to pull out?
Honestly, we don't normally pull from the trench to the north because, well,
This is your defenses, right?
part of our defenses, but it's also in some ways how we honor our lost Dredger brothers and sisters.
Oh,
Well,
so this is,
you
it's
know,
more of a
that might be why you're
ceremonial
dying
site.
so easily.
Hey!
I
Do
think
not
they're more
disrespect
death. I don't-
the fallen, okay? My gosh.
If we need weapons, then we need weapons.
That seems kind of foolish. I mean, I'm siding with these.
Well, I mean, from
It
what he
provides
just
us
said,
a
it's
valid.
it provides them defense as well as ceremonial value. So,
I guess it's defensive. Yeah, I want to break that down.
It does help
I mean,
ensure the undead forces don't come from that direction.
talking about defenses, do you need
Which
help
direction
and
do they
aid?
come from?
So if you're on roll 20 and you look at the map, technically you guys were at the red circle when you entered.
Oh my god, how do I control this?
You ran down the tunnel with Yejin, entered this chamber. The path that was furthest to the south was collapsed by a cave-in. Yejin guided you this way as you all kind of dodged past a minotaur that was swinging with a great axe. Its skeletal remains. And then this little rectangle up here in this northern section is where that trench was that was filled with weapons upturned that would kill undead that would fall down and basically land on the weapons. And every so often the trench is cleared.
Okay.
So
So where can we go to find more materials?
further out into the ditches. So technically from here there seems to be a path to the east, southeast, and yes, and the south.
And there's still some people around us, like gathered around the fire.
Yezhin has started to kind of walk off. Doyenta is kind of hanging off in the distance here. Not, I don't know, kind of awkwardly keeping to herself.
Do these people look like very malnourished? Like the rations that we have on us, would they be in? Like, do they look like they're starving and could
I mean,
use some
the
better food?
rations are on. Give me an investigation check as you kind of look around to see if you can gauge what the food supply looks like here.
I'm gonna say to Abrades, who he is willing to guide us somewhere to find more materials.
That's a 14 for investigation.
14. With the 14, you do manage to see kind of off to the side the kind of makeshift food supply, for lack of a better word. You can make out that there is probably enough for 2 more days worth of food, one time eating, and it'll probably be later this evening before the long rest for all these folk, because that was when they were eating the night previously. However, 1, it's hard to gauge night and day here. 2, but from what you can gauge from that check, yeah, it's probably about 2 days supply for them and them alone.
Yeah.
With a 14, just barely, you also see kind of off to the side what looks like potentially rotten, maybe even undead flesh off to the side.
Oh. Who is near me right now from this new group? Is it Yargan? Or is that his name? Yargan?
Yargan is now walking Lemnor, or has now walked Lemnor back to the barracks to lay her down.
Okay.
After all of this.
So, well, I'm going to find the nearest member of this new group that we stumbled upon. I'm going to be like, hey, whoa.
To answer your question, because technically Borgio did ask Abradis a question. Normally, the best person to ask would be, Lemnor. She does primarily most of the hunting on her own. It's best to work in quiet teams of 1 to 2. If you're trying to make small outings for supplies, but Lemnor is very much not in the best condition for that right now. You might be able to convince one of the others, but I cannot promise anything.
Well,
Which one of these others? And I look around.
I have some.
I'd interject for a second and be like, if he says that they only go out in groups of 1 and 2, and there's 5 of us here, adding 1 more person to guide us seems like even a poor idea. I think we just need basically general directions for what we need to do, and we should do it on our own.
Hey, we need to pay contribution. I mean, they took their time to help aid us. We have to help them out as well. I mean,
Exactly.
I have some vegetables in my pack here from my farm still. I mean, I can donate them. It'll last us a few days, but I mean, at least it's better than this rotten meat.
Does stuff grow here? Aradis, can you grow things in the soil here?
Unfortunately, that's not my specialty. You'll have to discuss that with Secker, but I know much of our yield that Secker has presented has been sickly at best. It's apparently
show me to this Secker.
Issue of light. As you kind of shout that in this chamber, as Secker is literally just like 30 feet off in the distance, kind of lightly tending to the plants, You just watch as the hooded head kind of cricks over and looks at you, and then looks back at its plants and goes back to tending them.
I see.
I will go.
Okay.
I will go and talk to them, and I walk away.
Braidis, is there anybody else that might need some other tasks done while we venture out? And also, is it Lemnor that we should probably talk to about the last venture?
Well, if you wish to inquire, from what I understand, just Lemnor was unlucky enough to encounter a bit more than she could handle, and was harmed on the way back. This is why we try to mitigate numbers, try to use guile to our benefit.
Understand.
But
that's my specialty.
Well, it will be very valuable here. As for other favors, I guarantee everybody here could use some help with something. The specifics you'd have to inquire with them. But from what I saw gathering around the fire, most did convey interests. So
It's something. Got it. All right. I guess then I would make let the guy. I think we just need to go talk to everybody and see what they need from us, and then make notes of that, and let's find the best way to go. We should probably go talk to Lemnor and see where she went last and where she needed help. I don't know if we can help her get healed more to be able to go with us, but at this point, if it's too taxing for us, we might as well just go on our own.
So interesting element of this chapter, if you will. This is kind of almost a settlement control element to it, right? So, for example, as I said, gathering materials are definitely going to help. I believe Karagnir basically said, hey, if you can get me a tissue sample of the thing that guards the gate, that was kind of a ding side quest there, or objective there. Lemnor had made mention of her good friend Coral. Nobody really inquired about that with her.
They wanted her saved.
But she said she wasn't really ready until kind of Coral was found, or she knew what was left of her. Secker didn't really say anything, so nobody's necessarily inquired with them. And Yezhin technically was more occupied with getting Lemnor back safely than to stress what his concerns or wants might be. So there's a couple people you've gotten that information from, and some you haven't.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alright, well, I'm done with this idle chatter. I need something to do. I'm gonna stand up and start walking towards Yejin and Lemnor.
Yeah,
If
let's go
anybody
talk.
wants to join me.
No, let's go talk to them.
Yeah.
All right.
At this point, I guess I would be reaching in for my packet. I have some rations, so I would probably be feeding sparingly myself and Nicodemus at the same time.
I'm gonna say, one ration is, one whole day's worth of sustenance, and I'll say that you can break a small sliver off of that and still be sustained, and so can...
Well, I've been living off very little. It's been me and him for a very long time, so we've learned how to deal with that. Hence
For
why
sure.
we're not very strong.
Tracking. But you all collectively start to head back towards that kind of barrack space with all the little alcoved beds. You can see Lemnor kind of sets the crutch up against the kind of makeshift wall here and kind of gets herself back into kind of a laying position. And
I mean, the soil here is just. If we just had the right
it's just muddy everywhere.
nutrients, yeah, it's just. If it just
Is
had
Arthur-
something that was more nutritious, like nitrogen, but
Arthur, you went to talk to Secker, right?
yeah.
Okay, so Arthur, you walk over to Secker. As you kind of walk over to him, you can see his robed figure kind of standing over.
I would think that Greg would go with Arthur. I don't mean to interject in that point, but
I said I did.
okay.
Do what now?
I went to Secker too because I need to inquire about the water, and then I probably would ask whatever he needs help with, so we know his goals.
Okay.
Yeah, so we split the party, and so I don't know where Deez is going, but me and Bourgeot are gonna go talk to Lemnor.
Deez was coming with
Yeah.
us. Deez was coming.
Yeah,
with
I'm
us.
going with Bo.
Okay, so it's all three of us are going to talk to them too, and Gregor and Arthur are going to Sester.
Okay.
As Arthur and Gregor start going in that direction, I'm like, so like, what does this? What do you do with those cards? I've never seen that before.
You're saying this to Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, these cards?
Yeah.
I play card games, and back in the day, I was pretty good at different games. I would win a lot, made a lot of money.
So like these cards are like your faith?
No, it's just a hobby. It's just a game. You know, you can put money on it. Hobby and a job. Way of life.
You have to teach me this sometime. I don't know. I played
I mean,
the only game
I don't know if-
the only game I know is dice. So
Well, if you're like a religious person, you might be against like gambling. I don't know if that's a sin or something. I guess you don't have to gamble. I teach you games.
I'd say it's about now that you would actually get to Secker, because it's not that far to get across this chamber to have this conversation.
Gambling and faith is like one and the same.
Secker looks at you and taps their wooden fingertips together. This arguing wastes time, and while it is far from our most precious resource, we cannot grow complacent. Let's make better use of the time that has been allotted to us.
Smart. Yeah, I heard you need water. I need water so I can just not shrivel up and die.
And I'm a bit of a farmhand, as they say. I know a thing or two. Maybe I can aid you in this endeavor.
Perhaps you can aid your friend. I believe I can help you with your water problem, but I will need some sort of receptacle to actually place said water within.
If you can just make it in the air, I can shape it.
I can like use my shield and it can like float over him. Yeah?
Well, we can see if this works. So what is the how does shape water work?
Makeshift shower.
You choose an area of water that you can see within range that fits within a 5-foot cube. You manipulate it in one of the following ways. You can either change the flow, you can cause it to form a simple shape and animate it in my direction. I can shape water to any sort of shape. I imagine I would just,
make it your shape and then you walk into it?
Yeah. I mean, just hold it in the air, just, put my head in it and stuff. And I can also freeze it too, strangely. Like, I can freeze the water. If anybody's hot, I can give them a little cool stick.
Nice.
Oh, you have control of temperature.
So, Secker raises their wooden hands, and as they start to stretch their hands across, you watch this wave of arcane energy begin to ripple, almost like light within water, as it starts to shift from that arcane energy into something tangible. And as she they focuses their energy forward, you start to see almost kind of like a hose worth of water starting to propel in your general direction. Give me this is going to be an Arcana check with advantage because this is all planned and all that, but I want to see how well you kind of catch this because this is about 10 gallons of water being propelled forward. Oh yeah, no problem. You managed to capture that and full on water bin that shit as you spin it around you, and you begin to shape it into whatever form you wish it to take.
I kind of use my shield and like smash into the water to make it like splash more on them.
You smack it, and as you know, it kind of reacts for a second the way it would if you smacked the surface of a pool. But with his will and that Arcana check, it immediately reforms into the natural path and flow that he's flowing it around him before it takes on the shape he wishes.
Okay, don't touch
Wow. By the gods, this is... Wow.
I'm not proud of it, but I got this new magic powers. Don't tell anybody. Just power myself. Or whatever, in a little bit.
So you're a practitioner of magic, yeah?
I don't intend to be. It was just I sort of kind of had a string of bad luck, and I don't tell anybody, but I got an undead curse. I got an undead curse. I got cursed, and ever since that curse, I kind of had these powers. They were just sort of unwilling on me.
How dare they curse you? I would do everything in my power to help you out. This is...
Thanks, too.
So, Greg, as you're shaping this water...
When I'm done, I'll throw it back on the ground to water the plants.
Okay. So, what does it look like as you kind of envelop yourself in this water you're controlling for a moment?
Splashy.
So you just kind of turn it into like almost like a mini tidal wave, and you kind of have it just wave through you?
Yeah, it's constantly just it's spinning in a circle, and it's just like constantly just like bashing into me.
All right. And as you are re-soaked by the water, you now gain your day and a quarter or a day and a half of recharge of being rehydrated. As you throw your frog-like hands outright, the wave kind of disperses into a kind of mist-like shape for just a moment as it kind of rains down on the herbs here in this makeshift herb garden. You actually see a genuine nod of almost thanks or appreciation at the consideration of recycling the water after your use. The hardest part of maintaining these is the lack of sunlight down here. And he kind of places his kind of wooden hand under a semi-wilted leaf. And you watch as he kind of waves a hand by some nearby crystals that are kind of adjacent in the lining between the kind of pot placements here. And you can see these kind of small little crystals begin to glow this light blue luminescence. Seems to provide a little bit of light to some of these plants, but it's definitely not enough. You see, I long to find a plant that will grow strong and hardy down here. If you can maybe find something while you're exploring the ditches here, I'd be ever grateful, and I believe the camp would be as well. And I hope
agriculturist to another, we will help.
Well, thank you. And I hope that helped you, my amphibian friend. Quite impressive, that little trick.
Thanks, yeah, it helped a big time.
Well, good luck. Don't die.
I will make sure he will survive. Thank you once again, and we will return the favor in your aid.
Beautiful. And the two of you start to kind of walk off.
Yeah.
And we kind of rewind back about 3 to
I'm
5.
going to put my shield over him to kind of help give him some shade, even though there's not that much sunlight. But I'm kind of
There's
like,
zero
let me
sunlight
help him.
here in the ditches,
Okay.
and there would be zero sunlight in Nova Stoya. Um, but
Here,
you
get
guys,
up on my shoulders.
It's cool, bro.
as he says, it's cool, bro, and you guys start walking towards the barracks. We rewind back about 3 to 5 minutes to the professor, Borjo, and Arin entering into the barrack-like space. Again, Limnor placing her makeshift cane up against the wall, placing herself in her little alcove, trying to get into some position of relaxation. As she kind of grips some of the bandages at her side and on her leg. You would give me a survival check, Borjo. Just putting 2 and 2 together. General survival.
Oh my god, 7. I'm rolling terrible.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Nope, never mind. So you guys enter into this barrack-like chamber. What do y'all do?
Lemnar! I walk over to her.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be so boisterous, but, well, you see, we're just looking for something to do, looking for some supplies to get, and, you know, you had mentioned to me earlier about your last failed venture. I guess I was just wondering if we could head that same direction. Maybe we'd have luck finding your friend Coral and even maybe gathering more supplies. Maybe you missed some things. Maybe we could go a little further than you did, but we just need a direction, that's all.
Well, my job is primarily hunting and getting the food. Sorry. I need to talk to Yezhin. And Yezhin kind of chimes in. I'm right here, love. I'm right here. Don't worry about the rations. We got enough for at least a day. You get some rest. And she kind of leans back, trying to look back towards you, Borjo. Well, I can tell you, I went. Let me pull up the map. She went. I took the south east tunnels out of the camp. I mean, it's just as safe as any of the other tunnels. To be honest, it's just blindsided me. Don't know what it was. Made it through the darkness as fast as I could. I was lucky to get back to the camp. She kind of gestures for you to lean in a little bit closer to her, Borjo. Don't tell Yezhin, but one of his fucking traps nearly got me. They're everywhere out there. Good stuff. They help a lot, but damn, if you don't know what to look for, be careful.
What should we look for?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
any posted wood protruding from the ground, any lines, any metal frames you could see. I mean, the things we encounter out there, they're not the smartest tools in the shed, but you know, enough of them, they can cause you a big bother. And some of them are a little bit trickier, able to stick to the shadows a bit more. Just be careful.
And what of your friend? I know it might be hard to talk about, but if we can... I mean, where was she lost down there?
Well, Coral. And you can tell she's still kind of a bit you're not sure what herbs were given to her by Secker, but it has been clearly like taking her in and out of consciousness all night long. And as she kind of stops for a moment, she looks off. Oh, Coral, she's so beautiful. I have to find her. We were hunting, and we were recovering from a hunt, and suddenly we were ambushed. We were separated. I had to run.
I'll just grab her hand quick and just like give it a pet. It's okay. You don't have to talk about it. We'll find her. Don't worry. I let go of her hand.
She grabs your hand before you pull away. She's not dead. She's a fighter. And then she kind of weakly loosens her grip as her hand kind of falls in her lap, and she starts to fall unconscious from that sudden burst of energy.
I stand up and turn to Archimedes and Aaron. What do you say, gentlemen?
Let's do this.
I draw
Yejin.
my axe.
I go and talk to Yejin for a bit too. Excuse me, Yejin. Is there anything that we can help you out with while we're out exploring? We're going to be searching. I know metal scrap is one thing that we're going to be looking for to help with the defenses, but is there anything that we can assist you with?
He kind of, he at the time when you're walking over to him, he's kind of going through one of the little cubbied alcoves near one of the makeshift beds here, pulling at this kind of makeshift, ramshackled, slapped together box from scraps filled with like little doohickeys, little triggers. You would recognize this specifically, Aaron.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of glances sidelong at you and kind of gives you a wry smile. I can't tell.
I smile back.
I can't tell what's going on in that head of yours, and I'm sure you were just as irritated at that display, all that yelling from most everyone. Tough shake. Hey. Well, if you're really thinking about going out into the ditches, to do some recon, gather supplies for people, well, any recon you could gather for me would be appreciated. Maybe, I have a number of different traps out there. I've been working on it since I've found this wretched place. And, kind of devoted a second lease of my life, you could say.
I'm wanting to know a little bit about traps myself. Well, more so disarming them. Is there anything you could maybe tell me to maybe give me a little bit of advantage to finding your traps so I don't set them off while we're out there?
Well, I'm going to say no persuasion check even needed for that. I mean, he genuinely wants to help you
Sure.
accomplish your goal. Even more so, I will say take the boon of you basically get advantage on searching for traps that are Yejin's, as he kind of gives you the breakdown of kind of some of the markers he has used. He does kind of ramble on about like he's been here so long and he's placed so many varying traps of varying different levels of craftsmanship. It's basically been his experimental playground.
For sure.
But he does give you a decent amount of the breakdown of some of the stuff he does.
That'd be very helpful, Yashin. This is going to be very helpful.
Of course.
And I will inform you on any traps that have been set off.
Honestly, if you could recover any trap pieces, components, anything that you can find after, if they've been disarmed, even if they haven't been, anything you can collect and bring back, that would be appreciated. I'm trying to reinforce the nearby traps for the camp.
So you're saying the further ones out, bring them back in? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, obviously the ones adjacent to the barricades, leave those in place.
Oh,
we're going to make sure that those are basically, as you're departing, I'll ensure you have safe ingress as you're leaving camp.
Gotcha. I will do this for you, sir.
Appreciate it. Good luck out there.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I started going back to the group, and I guess we're leaving.
All right. Well, I assume you start walking out towards the entryway. I'd say it's about this point that Greg and Arthur are approaching the entry.
So when you say I have 2 of these
I'll be right back.
queen cards and I have 3 tens, that's what?
A flush.
That's a flush. So does that mean I win game?
Poker's not canonical to Atharis. It's makes some shit up. It's a grand murder. I don't know. I was thinking like a murder of crows or what's a collection of dragons?
This is
A flock.
It's a court.
This is a coven of dragons. Coven of
flock.
dragons.
A flock of dragon cards.
Jeez.
Court of dragons.
There's so many.
I think it's court.
It's a dragon's
So
breath.
Like the vampires that rule in the
We
court.
get out here. How about
Right.
every game?
There's so many rules to this game. Maybe sometime when we have free time, we can try to. You can teach me
Thunder
this.
or flight.
Absolutely.
And it's as you say that you see Aaron walking out the barracks doorway and kind of bumps into the two of you at the entrance. I believe the professor and Bourgeot are still within the barracks. So.
Yeah, I'm walking. I would have walked out too after I got done talking to Lemnor. I'm walking the direction she pointed to, which she said southeast, huh? Correct?
That's where you had asked where she had gotten injured, and that was the direction she had pointed towards.
Yeah, then I'm headed that way. I'm assuming with Archimedes and Aaron.
I will relay information to the group about the necessary traps that Yejin's been laying, and warn them that I know what to look for. So we need to be removing the further ones to help them out. So if they see any traps that we missed or stuff, we need to maybe appreciate if we call them out.
That's great information to know about. Thank you. So I guess we're going then, huh?
Yes, we need to venture out first to see what we can acquire.
All right.
I think it would be best if we split the party.
Yes.
I think smaller groups.
Brady's made mention that traveling in groups larger than 2 is risky, which sucks for us because there's 5, but
They said hunting in
Small.
groups of 1 or 2 or no, larger than that are risky because it attracts potential attention.
Either 3 short people go together, and then the 2
I don't think we should split the party. I think we should stay together. Make sure we all,
How about we make a
are able to,
compromise? We can have a group of 2 go a bit ahead, and then the rest of us follow. So there's a little bit of a gap in between, but not too much of a gap. You know what I'm saying?
That's just having somebody behind. You split the party so you can double discovery. If we're you're just in the same group if you're right behind them.
I mean, if you want my honest opinion, the more the numbers, the better. So.
I'm fine with
I agree with
that.
that, Arthur.
Better safe than sorry.
There's probably a lot to explore, but we still need to be careful.
But us all going together is not being careful because it could attract a whole. And it's just a thought, it's a theory that us being together could become a bigger burden than trusting ourselves. I mean, we're all
Yeah.
Adults here.
Either way, I am your shield.
Quick party, yes or no? What,
I don't know. What's the professor doing? He's really quiet.
he's
Yeah,
still-
sorry, I said I'd be right back. I
I
just
know.
got back.
I know.
Should we split these? That's just a question. Split the party or all stay alive?
I don't know. Well, half of us were trying to help out one person, and half of us were trying to help out another.
There was
We're just knowing what we need. And
well-
that being said, look for vegetation around here that seems.
was it Kraganor? Is that what her name was? She needed a sample of the crazy being up front or guarding the gate. I fathom that would need to be a stealth operation of some sort, or we need to find more information about that said creature. Maybe it's got some sort of like offspring.
If we're gonna
something.
encounter some crazy creature, then I
Oh no, you froze.
Well,
Okay, you're back.
the more of the us that there are, we can carry more supplies too, and
Yeah,
whatever
because
happens.
if we find any vegetation that grows in this dark vicinity, it would be a great help to this encampment.
Yeah, I'm fine with going together, all five. It's just it may attract a big group of something, but
True.
that's just what it is.
But
That's all.
we're a big group ourselves. I think that would be
Yeah.
a
Either
little
way,
safer
we're in
for
a
now.
place
Yeah,
where
let's
we
not-
must keep an ever vigilant eye out.
Let's
I
have
think
a vote,
regardless
fellas.
of splitting up or not, we're going to be.
Let's have a vote, fellas. This is a democracy. All right, all in favor of all of us going down the tunnel. Say
Aye.
aye.
Like, what do you mean? Like, together or split?
all together.
together.
All of us together.
Uh,
One big group.
What's 4?
I'm for it.
For
Okay, southeast. Y'all said. I kind of asked the group.
Yep, southeast.
You could stay here and help with the camp if you.
No, let's all go together.
well, they already
That's it
said
then.
they have
It's
defenses
settled.
set up.
we have no way of contacting each other if we're split up. Keep that in
True.
mind too. So we can't really splitting up does
I
not
was
sound.
talking about
What
that.
if
I thought
if
they
somebody
were
else needs help, we wouldn't be able to get in touch with them until said party group either never came back
Well,
or
Gregor's going to start walking forward.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm gonna follow Gregor towards the southeast tunnel. This
I
way,
s-
fellas.
I sprint ahead.
Let's. Yep, I'm already going.
Okay.
Yep, we are on our way.
Beautiful. So you guys eventually make your way over to the southeast exit, and Yezhin is kind of already there, currently working on reinforcing some of the barricade and kind of disarming and putting his traps into somewhat of a standby mode as you guys start to make your way through the barricade here, heading into the southeastern tunnel. It is kind of difficult terrain, and you do have to actually take your time as you're working your way through this barricade. You could tell if you were rushing through here, you would probably cut or nick yourself in some way, shape, or form. It's like scrap metal slapstick barricade thrown together. But one by one, you all kind of step through and manage to make your way into the southeastern tunnel. The ditches is a macabre place of dirt, darkness, and undeath. This place, however, seems like it may have once been very different. Massive roots kind of wind their way through the floor and ceiling, kind of looping in and out through the barriers of the chamber here as you're kind of working your way through this massive tunnel that just seems to continue on. And as you kind of turn and shift and approach this chamber, as the tunnel veers. Let me go ahead and kind of reveal more map. How do I close it?
I don't know.
There we
Hey,
Oh
whoa.
wow.
And
Oh, come
as you
on.
guys start to enter into this chamber, let me better describe it. Let's see.
Turn order.
Oh wow. I can't move the map and see.
Seems, as I said, you can see these massive roots kind of wind their way through the floor and ceiling, kind of looping in and out through the barriers of this chamber. The ground is kind of shrouded with vegetation, though it kind of grows barren and brown. You can see hatchet marks kind of mar some of the roots where very clearly some of the dredgers have come here and kind of hacked away to fuel their fire. It's a massive chamber just filled with these knotted roots all through the walls, the ground. It's almost like the ground itself. You ever walk through a forest where the roots were so overstacked and overgrown that you're kind of like tripping over roots constantly?
Yeah.
It's very,
Yes,
very much
absolutely.
like that all across the floor here. The walls themselves, again, varying size and shapes of the different roots that protrude everywhere. Everybody give me a general perception check.
Oh wow.
Aaron, what'd you get?
Dirty 20.
30-20. Professor, what'd you get?
B's got an 8.
Arthur.
21.
Borjo.
1 second. Roll.
Whoa.
Doesn't want to
18,
roll.
6, 5,
We're
17,
seeing it.
5.
We're seeing
It's
it.
rolling.
Oh, it is? It's not. It's
Yeah.
not rolling, man.
You rolled
It's,
6 times.
it's undecisive.
The first one was 18.
The first one's 18, so
Okay.
it's
So-
not like showing on my D&D Beyond that it's rolling. That's weird.
Weird.
So anybody that rolled a 13 or higher, you can tell
Yes.
that this room once served as a place for the dredgers of old to seemingly probably gather seeds and vegetation to feed their number. But many, as I said, many of what seems to be of the plant life here in this chamber seems to be long since shriveled long ago. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like new crops are growing very much. Just one more thing, the ditches have taken away from this, these group of survivors here. And as you're kind of looking around, I'm going to say everybody give me investigation checks.
Wow.
Okay, Aaron,
21.
21, Professor,
B's got lucky with an 18.
nice, Arthur,
10, baby.
Borjo,
5.
and Greg,
13.
13. So, for, I'm going to say, Borjo, you were kind of off to the side. Or wait, Borjo, what did you get?
A 5.
5, and you got a 10, Arthur.
He's just standing in front of Root the whole time.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Arthur and Borgio, funnily enough, the ones that are wearing the heavy armor are kind of having difficulty, like, stepping over these large roots and kind of looking through this chamber. But
Borgio's probably going to have to do a little bit of climbing at some point, too, because he's, isn't he?
I mean, there's enough of a path for him to not have to, like, leap over anything, but it is difficult terrain.
I'm imagining I'm up top of one, and I can see a lot because I got a 21.
Definitely. And I'm going to say you managed to actually find kind of a handful of slightly overgrown and moss-covered, like dried and dead moss, but a handful of, like, rock hammers and a trowel kind of buried in the dirt. Seemingly long discarded, but seems interesting.
Yeah. Here, Borgia.
I'll go investigate it.
Grab my hand, Borgia.
There's some tools or something over here. Maybe we can use it. Are there any traps nearby? Do I see any traps?
I mean, again, it's all kind of rotted and
okay.
all that. But if you're looking for traps specifically, go ahead and give me an investigation check for that specifically.
Sure thing.
Does he have advantage because of that?
And he does get advantage.
Thank you. Well, 12 is my best one.
So with a 12, again, you leapt on to kind of this gnarled, outstretched, almost Nightmare Before Christmas style route that's giving you a pretty good vantage point. And as you're looking off, you do see what appears to be this kind of fine, almost wooden lattice work that seems to match a little bit of some of the descriptors you recalled hearing when Yejin described some of his traps.
Let the group know that, hey guys, there's some tools or something over here, but be careful over there. There looks like there's a trap. Let me go over there and check it out before we go. Anybody goes over there, please.
So you approach it, and I'm assuming you're trying to disarm it. So
yes.
Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
I get advantage on those two?
No, it's just for finding the traps.
Oh, darn. 9?
9, okay, yeah.
For my sleight of hand.
So, you do set off the trap, but since you didn't fail it by 5, I'm going to say give me a dexterity saving throw. Technically, you shouldn't get one at all, but I'm going to say
23.
Yeah, with a 23, you manage to leap back as a series of razor blades are kind of whipped forward on a kind of a wired trap, but you manage to pull your hand out of the way, managing to avoid being cut altogether. You've disarmed the trap, and there are some raw components. So go ahead and put Yejin's Tinkering 1. You've obtained 1. And as you're kind of messing with this trap, and these two are trying to like struggle their way over
Yeah, Borgia, grab my spear. I can help yank you up, okay?
I need to check something.
Yeah, I would be making my way to the tools that Aaron pointed out with Arthur.
Okay. So as you start to try to catch up to technically where Aaron was when he found the... Did you leave the tools there and go down for the trap?
Exactly. That's what I did. I let the group know that there was something over here, but don't go over here until I go over there and investigate it. And I went over there to investigate it.
And Gregor, what are you doing, or where are you at? And Professor, what are you doing, and where are you at?
I'm looking for any sort of living vegetation, but I'm just following behind everybody. I'm kind of hopping like onto the roots. So I don't think I'm having a burden. Kind of jumping where I need to. Like it's.
Yeah.
Tree fox style.
I think I don't. I think you still have difficult terrain issues, but I would say it's probably easier for you than it is for everybody else for sure. As you're kind of leaping from root to root, some of them grip, some of them slip. Again, it's hard to tell with this place. Some places like overly dry, some places overly muddy. It's like this place won't make up its mind. As soon as you get used to one thing, it's another.
I'm checking out one of these wheelbarrows here, seeing what's going on inside. If there's any
Wheelbarrows? What are you talking about?
I don't know. There's wheelbarrows in there.
On the image, looks like wagons or something kind of.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna say you guys end up now discovering a small kind of ramshackled, collapsed wagon that's also filled with a series of tools, all kind of covered with dirt and mud and grime and long dead moss.
So am I able to see like the last time these tools were even used? Like, when's the last time somebody even came down here?
Well, there's been trapped.
Yeah, give me. I mean, clearly the other dredgers have made their way through these tunnels in one way or another. But again, it's right now for them. Survival is the biggest thing because they're on that kind of wit's end. If they can get not only past the point of survival, but getting stronger and being able to actively attack, that's where they're trying to get to. So, but as you guys, Greg and Professor, as you guys kind of hop and walk over to this kind of collapsed, ramshackled carriage and start kind of like picking up these tools, looking up what you discovered, you two finally climb up over these roots. As you make it to where there's this other kind of semi-overgrown with roots wagon that's been like crushed by the roots themselves, pulling some of the tools out and kind of looking at each other, holding up the tools that you've grabbed. Suddenly, reaching through the roots from underneath, it's like the darkness itself manifests into physical form as these hands outstretch and basically claw and grip their darkened, shadowed hands into your flesh. Technically, that is everyone but Aaron. As you guys look down and see the shadows, literally outstretched hands coming up and gripping you. So I'm just gonna go in order. So starting with the Professor, that is 18 to hit for the Professor.
That's my armor class.
So that hits. So
I knew you were going to say that.
So
That's my armor class.
so that's going to be 11 points of necrotic damage, and your strength score is reduced by 2 points.
I don't know how to do that.
So what's your strength score right now?
14.
Cool.
So you're 12.
So technically you're 12. So instead of having a +2, you have a +1 for anything with strength. And just remember you have 12.
Okay.
The other one was going for Gregor. That is 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. That's 9 points of necrotic damage. And your strength score is reduced by 1. The other two now attacking the barbarian and the professor, Borgio and the professor. Sorry. So that's a 19 to hit for Borgio. And that...
Sorry. I'm sorry. My computer is like dying right now, so I just kind of missed what had just happened. What exactly are we, my computer's like just dying, so I just missed what exactly we're getting hit by. That's all.
So literally coming out of the darkness, because again, this place is incredibly dark, and I don't think any of you guys have night vision.
There's lights everywhere.
I have 120 feet of dark vision.
So you're the only one, I think.
I see lights everywhere.
And so dark vision is basically like cat eye vision in Witcher. You know, it helps, but it's not perfect. Because everything's in shades of gray. And as you're kind of, you know, again, picking up these tools and looking at the professor, you guys saw the shadows themselves take on physical form. And as they did, claw with their shadowed hands. And that, so I already did Professor, already did Greg. Arthur and Borgio were who I was rolling for. So Borgio, I rolled, what did I say?
19.
Is Borgio within 5? Borgio is still within 5 feet of me, right? Because I was helping him up.
I would say, yeah.
Okay, I will use my reaction to intercept as I see these tendrils or these dark hands coming up. I'm like, oh shit! And I strike out with my spear.
This is a surprise round, so unless you're immune to the surprise condition, that's not something that you can do right now.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Because this is literally them like coming out of the ground, out of the shadows, and clawing you.
Okay.
It's like being attacked by your own shadow.
It's like Peter Pan style. Oh
so
shit, there's my shadow.
19 for Borgio, and that was like dirty 20 for Arthur.
Yeah, they both hit.
Okay, so that's...
I'm resistant to necrotic.
That is 8 points of necrotic damage, Borgio. And your strength score is reduced by 4.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
And then... Wow. You take 5 points of necrotic damage, I guess halved, Arthur.
Yeah, to what, 3?
Yeah. And you lose 3 points of strength.
God, the people who use strength got zapped the worst.
And
So, 3 points in strength? Oh, okay.
Damn.
How
does this work? I'm not used to this.
Damn, they rolled really well on initiative too. Alright, so everybody roll for initiative.
$22.
Dirty 20.
Hold on. Sorry. Start from the top. Archimedes.
I got a 9.
9. Aaron.
15.
158. All right. Arthur.
Dirty 20.
Borgio.
Natural 20, so 22.
Greg.
10. Did you hear me? 10? Sorry.
Yes, 10. Sorry. I'm just inputting initiative for the others here. Where they rolled, so I know where they're at. Because they have shared initiative. There we go. So, top of the round is Borgio. As you see these shadow-like creatures kind of wisp up out of the ground as best as you can see in the dark. Here in front of you as it claws at you. What do you do?
I say, what the fuck? And I swing my axe at it. Actually, sorry. I'm gonna rage as a bonus action first.
There you go.
Alright.
I say, what
Yeah.
the fuck? And I get fucking pissed off, and I swing my axe at whatever's closest to me.
Okay. It would definitely be the one that just struck you. So go ahead and give me an attack roll.
24?
Yeah, 24 hits.
Ooh, no. Fucking 14 damage.
Damn.
Plus 2, so 16 damage.
16. Okay.
Is that with your -4 strength or?
Oh yeah, technically you do.
How does that, okay.
But he's raging
that
too.
stuff
'cause
even work?
Rage adds like what, +2?
Right
so that
now.
would be
Rage
How
just
dare
gives
you
me
make it
plus 2
complicated, Aaron?
So that was
Rage
six.
just gives me plus 2 melee damage.
Correct. So, but technically part of your damage is also from your strength. So technically you're -2 from total damage done right now with strength-based weapons.
If you click on the number under the dice roll on D&D Beyond, you can put the modifier, temporary -4 modifier.
Okay.
I think it should have just.
Ooh. I'll do
So
that.
I would say that technically you did what? You did 4 or 16 before, so now you've done 14 technically.
Yeah.
All right. So as you swing your axe wildly after screaming, "What the fuck?" You do make contact with the creature, whatever this thing is in front of you, as it kind of passes through it. It does seem to harm it, but it doesn't seem to be as effective as you had hoped.
Alright.
Sounds like we're gonna need magic for these things.
As my movement, I'm going to duck under Arthur's legs and stand under him.
You're a halfling, right?
Mm-hmm.
he has nimble movement, so he can be within my space.
Okay.
That's a halfling trait and a gnome trait.
Okay. I thought it was a gnome thing.
It's a gnome and halfling thing because they're
Yep.
so small.
Okay.
We
So-
could also hide behind people as well.
All right.
that are
So, Borjo,
one size bigger.
you run over and kind of get just behind Arthur, kind of back to back with him, I guess.
Yeah.
Powers behind him.
I will.
Powers combined! Oh!
No. I want to be like defensively under him with my axe.
Oh, okay.
Ready to swing.
I don't know how you would be defensively under him.
Just whatever. I'll just stand next to him with my axe out.
Okay. I will stress technically as you kind of turn to run towards Arthur and I guess run to his back. And again, you guys were basically like 5-8 feet within each other's reach. But as you turn, you can see him being attacked by also another very similar looking, shadow-like creature that's kind of digging its clawed, shadowed hands into his rib cage. So, are you still trying to run past that creature and kind of get adjacent to him?
I'll just hold my ground then. That'll be my turn.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, Arthur, you are up. You just got struck and kind of lifted as this shadow-like creature kind of jabs its taloned hands into your flesh, draining your strength from you.
I'm like, I have like shield in my arm, my spear in the other, and I'm just like, be gone! And I try to strike it with my spear.
The one that just hit you. Now,
Yeah.
That is a reach weapon, correct?
Spear is a normal, like 5 feet. The pike is reach.
Is it?
The pike's on my back.
Okay.
So I have my shield and spear out right now.
Okay. Yep, range, throw, and versatile. Yep. So, yeah. Beautiful. So you go ahead and make an attack.
All right. So that's a 15, but you said strengths -3, so that's 13.
So technically that should hopefully only have brought your modifier down by 1, unless you had an odd
Oh.
number.
No, I didn't.
Because it's bringing the
Oh, so-
actual attribute, not your modifier, down by 3.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, a 14. Does that hit?
14 hits.
Sweet. As I strike down and with the furry like be gone, as I'm striking down, feeling this fury, this like my eyes flicker for like a moment of like this fiery blaze, not kind of like noticing this being in the moment, and I'm gonna pump some divine smite into that.
Beautiful. All right.
So that's gonna be, let's see. So for the spear damage, that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage, and let's see, divine smite does 2d8. So I'm gonna roll 2d8 right now.
So the piercing damage was how much? 7, you said?
7 piercing damage. I rolled a 6 + 1,
Okay.
and for my divine smite,
And that does radiant damage?
that does radiant damage. Is this like some form of like undead or something?
Presumably, you're unsure.
Because it says if it's undead or fiends, I take an extra 1d8.
So go ahead and roll the extra 1d8.
Oh shit. So that's going to be 13 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, you guys.
So 7 + 13 is 20.
You guys
altogether.
watch as he kind of raises his shield and spear and does that really cool like upward jab stab that Brad Pitt does in fucking Troy.
Goddamn right.
You guys know which one I'm talking about. But as he kind of like jumps forward and stabs, you just watch this sudden pulse of. Well, actually, you tell me, what does this magic look like as you drive this spear into this creature?
As I shift my shield up and my spear down, this energy you see as it strikes burst out in a orangey red color with like a hint of like black, kind of like like a rising sun in the morning, it has that like reddish orange tint. It's kind of like that bursting out.
And you just hear a as it's suddenly like ripped apart by the radiant energy of your attack. That thing is decimated.
Sweet.
Beautiful. All right, so Arthur, that is your action.
So it's my action, and as my bonus action, just steady myself, and I'm just like, Borgio, to me! Everybody, look out! And that ends my turn.
All right. So that's going to end Arthur's turn. Next in the order is the creature that Borgio was attempting to run from or away from. Shifts and continues focus on Borgio as he tries to run away, and then comes to a stop, seeing another creature now being just completely decimated and blown away by Arthur, and it's going to go for another attack. These are not challenge rating 1/2, I tell you. So I don't think that hits. That's a 14 to hit.
On me?
Borgio, correct.
No, yeah, that doesn't hit.
All right, that doesn't hit. Next is the one adjacent to the professor.
Oh, there's 4 of them?
Yup. That's a 19 to hit on the professor.
No, it hit someone else.
Dude, this
Yes,
totally
it hit me.
reminds me of the Elden Ring tomb in
That is
fucking Necropolis.
10 points of necrotic damage.
Can I silvery
Come on.
barbs that? Oh, actually, never mind. Never mind.
And you lose another 3 strength.
No, I don't, because I'm
Dead.
incapacitated.
You still technically lose the 3 strength, but we watch
Okay,
as
cool.
it claws at the professor, and you watch as he kind of tumbles back, falling onto the collapsed wooden carriage there on the ground in front of you, Greg. As you also take a slash from that first attack, and it takes a slice at you, Greg. Does a 7 hit, Greg?
No.
So yeah, he rolled a 2. So yeah, that's swings wide, and you just watch as the professor kind of tumbles down after getting struck by one of these creatures, and that's going to end. Well, no.
Avenge me.
The one that struck him will
It was almost my turn.
move into.
Damn it.
I had what I was gonna do already.
It will move into the kind of natural shadows there within all the different roots.
It's okay, the paramedics are on the way.
Can I opportunity attack it?
You are not within range of that one. Let's see. And then the one that's engaged with
Which one just moved?
Or-
Like, was it? Who was it next
the
to?
one that just knocked down the professor. That was on the other side of the professor.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, that's the only one that is going to move, and then that's going to end their turn. Aaron, you are up. Gregor, you are on deck.
Call me the doctor.
The doctor.
I'll call you Doctor.
Doctor who? Doctor what?
See, I'm trying to think here.
You're not a hard.
How far away are they from me? Like, how far away are they?
Definitely within range of sight. You can see kind of sloped up on your left the one that just got decimated by Arthur, the other one that's kind of currently engaged with Bourgeot. You look over and you can see on the kind of more opposite side of the chamber, you're right, technically, Aaron. Kind of a little bit more equal in height. Again, a bit more sloped, a lot more gnarled roots along the way. But you can see more eye length here with the professor and kind of the backside of Greg as they are suddenly onslaught and attacked by these different shadowed entities. The professor was just struck twice and has fallen down. Greg kind of standing there getting struck by one, seeing the professor and readying to act in his own right.
And I see Greg get hit and stuff.
Greg and yeah, you basically got a front row seat of everybody getting hit. You were turning to everybody right after disarming the trap.
Yes. And what are these things? They're like just some sort of like shadow creature that kind of emerged from.
Give me an Arcana check.
Shit. Hold on. Arcana check. I probably have no knowledge of this, but we'll give it a go here. Yeah, 2. So
They look like some kind of crazy shadow monster thingies.
okay.
Radiant damage destroyed one of them.
Yeah.
You're unconscious.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah, yeah, you're going back to Gallifrey.
How is our economy? It's a bonus action to drink the potion, to give somebody a potion. It's an actual action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Is the creature that was next to the professor, that one moved somewhere?
That one seemed to disappear into the shadows that are kind of naturally underneath all the different roots here in this very dark room that is not lit.
Understand. So it's not there anymore. Okay.
It's not in sight.
Gotcha. But I see 2 then, right?
You see 3. Oh no, sorry, 2. One was
2.
killed. So yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just trying to think what I wanted to do here. I'm really sorry. I guess I will. How far away? Like, I'm trying to see. I only have like 25 feet of movement, and this is difficult terrain, right?
I would say.
How far can I get?
I would say with a solid acrobatics check, you could get to the one that's up on the upper left-hand side that's currently fighting and engaged with Bourgeois.
Okay.
I would say you'd have to use full movement and probably some of your, if you have the ability to bonus action dash, but I don't think you get that. I think that's a monk thing with key points.
I have a bonus action dash.
If you have a bonus action dash, then theoretically you could bonus action and movement over to the one that's engaged with Greg.
Let me see. Bonus. I have cunning actions. I can dash, disengage, or hide. I'm gonna go for that one that's on Greg.
Okay.
So I will use my bonus action to dash. Let me make an acrobatics roll first, correct?
No, that was more so to like just scale up without the difficult terrain effect to kind of scale up over to the left-hand side where Arthur and Bourgeois are.
Okay, well then I will flavor this as I'll leap from root as I can, getting over to Greg and like sneakily get in there and give it a good stabberoo.
All right, yeah, definitely. And I'd say you'd be getting into a flanking position, so that would be at advantage, and that would be with sneak attack.
$17?
Yeah, 17 hits.
Alright. Get a little bit dice. 9.
9. And that is with your...
My dagger.
Okay. You slash through it. You feel it make contact, but your blade kind of cuts through it, and then you see it kind of seal shut. It seems to hurt it, but not as much as you would hope.
Understand. I don't have any more movement. And I use my bonus action to dash. I have 2 weapon fighting. Does that give me another attack?
If you use a bonus action, you can technically attack without any modifiers added with your offhand attack, unless you have the feat for 2 weapon fighting.
It's an actual feat. I have actions in combat, 2 weapon fighting.
No, I know.
Okay,
everybody has 2 weapon fighting. Anybody can bonus action attack, but to be able to add your modifiers to the attack is what the feat is for.
Understandable. And I don't have another attack then. That's all I got.
Yeah,
that's all I got. That's the end of my turn then, sir.
All right. So that's going to end Aaron's turn. Greg, you are up. Professor, you will be after.
So Aaron and Bourgeois attack the same one, right?
I'm sorry?
Did Aaron attack the same one?
I attacked the one you were on.
That I was on?
That attacked you.
Yeah.
Oh, attacked me. Okay. Which one looks more hurt out of the 2?
Out of...
The 2.
I mean, honestly, in the scene, I would say the one that you would probably have the most focus on would be the one that you're currently engaged with that kind of attacked you from behind. As you're kind of turning towards the creature to face it, I would say you might get a glimpse, since you have the dark vision, of the other shadow entity, but it looks like shadow, so I'm kind of having a hard time processing exactly what that's going to look like in shades of gray.
Well, I guess the one that's right next to me, I will attack it. I'm going to cast Frostbite on him.
Is that a melee spell attack or a ranged spell attack?
It's cast at will. Casting. They have to make a con save. I'm not sure. It says cast at will.
Okay. So if it's a save throw, it doesn't matter if it's ranged or not. So con save. That is a 16.
Okay, that saves. So let's say the target takes. That's it. Okay, I guess nothing happens. Oh.
Okay.
Dodge out of the way.
Alright,
So what did this spell look like as it was trying to take hold?
Mr. Frost appears and then disappears.
Okay.
And that was my action. I will. I can bonus action heal myself with a potion if it's myself.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, then I'll bonus action heal myself
Okay.
with my one potion.
Understood.
And that's my turn. I'm gonna stay there.
Alrighty. And then, Professor, if you could give me a death saving throw, please. That's just a straight D20 roll.
Alright.
You got this, man. No worries.
I kind of want to... Hold on. Did you already roll it?
Okay. Yeah, I rolled a 14.
Okay. Well, that's one success. But I kind of want to start doing private rolls for death saving throws.
Okay.
Just between me and the DM.
Okay, so we just
Or
go
you
on
and the DM,
messenger. Gotcha. I like that. It leaves it more.
I have to figure out a way
Yeah,
to do
no.
that. But
I have to make 3 to come back?
I think in Roll20 you can set your rolls to just be visible by the DM.
Or you can just use the command key when you message Mirrodin.
Sure, if
Oops.
that works too. I'm not sure if that does, but
I mean, that keeps it more private because that's more towards Discord.
no.
You can right click on the in D&D Beyond, and you can say roll to the Dungeon Master.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm.
Yeah, you can do that because you can
But
click on it
I'm
and
not
roll
the I'm
disadvantage
not
or
the
advantage.
dungeon master on
Oh,
D&D
true.
Beyond. So, but anyway, that's one success for the professor. Thank you, Doctor. Bourgeot, you are up. Arthur, you're on deck. The shadow
Alright.
creature just struck at you multiple times. You've
I'm
heard the
fucking
professor
scared
behind
now.
you collapse down to the ground.
Somebody
I'm
else
getting
do
a
some
little
radiant
worried now,
damage.
but that's not gonna stop me from taking another fucking swing at this thing.
Yeah, get him! Ah! Sorry.
Oh, that's gonna be a 10.
10 does not hit, I'm afraid. You swing and it like amorphously shifts its body out of the way as you swing at air.
It's just too muddy here.
Can I use my bonus action to pull out a torch?
I think pulling out a torch... You can pull out the torch, but lighting it, I think, is an action. So if you want to ready your torch, I'd allow that.
Or punch him with your fist.
Can I punch it with my fist as a bonus action?
Is your
Strike.
axe a two-handed weapon?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I guess I could swing like the butt at it, right?
Sure, I'd allow an unarmed strike, but for flavor, the butt of your your axe with your bonus action. You do not get to add any modifiers, so it's
A 10 does not hit.
yeah. No, 10 does not hit. You swing wide again, unfortunately not making contact. So that's your action and bonus action, Borjo.
Yeah, that'll just be my turn.
Alright. Arthur, you're up.
Alright, this creature is in front of me, right? He's trying to strike out at Borjo.
Archimedes needs help.
Correct.
Do I notice Archimedes? Because he's behind me, right? And I'm
No,
facing the other way.
Technically, Archimedes would have been the cart
In front of you.
carriage would have been within your line of sight. Borjo was kind of facing more towards you in that corner in that wall.
Damn it. Hold on. I'm gonna roll for this. No, what would Arthur do? Okay, he's in combat, and just out of my peripheral, I see Arthur go. I mean, Jesus Christ, Archimedes go down.
Dock,
right?
The dock goes down.
Okay. As a free action, can I look down at Borjo and be like, "You got this, right?" I'm like, he's like this, and I'm like,
Arthur, give me an insight check.
sweet. Oh, come on. Stop glitching, D&D Beyond.
And I'm gonna say, I guess, give me a persuasion check, Borjo.
Persuasion.
Oh yeah, my insight's a 9.
That's an 8.
So as rock assuredly as you are that he is confident of this, there is something for a moment there towards the end where maybe that's not a look of confidence. Maybe the please no might maybe be a sign. You're not sure. But yeah, you actually outrolled his persuasion, so you definitely can see what he's trying to convey to you, Arthur.
Arthur, knowing in this moment, he's like, I gotta take care of this. I'm gonna go for a spear strike on this being in front of me.
Alright, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Oh, natural 1. I fucking go to strike, but I slip in the mud and fall down.
You slip in the mud, and your spear actually hits into a root, and as you're trying to catch yourself, you actually snap the tip of your spear off.
Sweet.
Brutal.
So now it's a quarterstaff.
Grab to turn in. All right.
Might need some repair.
We're in Assassin's Creed it. You'll turn into the Alexios or Cassandra, and you can be a badass with Spear Leonidas.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Looks like your spear has broken.
But as I tumble down, I raise my head up and I can see Archimedes over there. And I'm just like, hang in there! And I cast Shield of Faith on him. So it increases his AC by 2.
Okay.
So if somebody tries to stab him...
But he's unconscious.
True.
I'll take
and
it.
prone, but it will make him harder to hit.
Sure.
So Arthur, you throw out your hand, and what does this casting look like as you throw out your hand towards the dock?
I like reach out my hand towards the dock, and you see this sunburst from my hand just like flash out, and then on the dock's body, you see like this shimmering aurora borealis style of light
Nice.
originate around this body.
Okay. Beautiful.
And since I didn't move, can I use my movement to stand back up and ready myself?
Sure, yeah. So
Yep.
half your movement to stand up, bonus action, action. Are you gonna move anywhere else?
I will move over this shatter creature. As I don't care if my fucking spear is broken or not, I'm fucking determined to like stand my ground against this disgusting creature.
So it's just like outstretched, like Dementor style jaw, kind of drawing out as it's raising its clawed hands towards you as well. So
Yeah, and like when I cast that too, you see like solar flares kind of like whisking off Arthur's eyes.
beautiful. I love it. All right, so that's going to end Arthur's turn. Next in the order is the creature that just screeched at you, and as you have technically got its attention, Arthur, it's going to try to take a swing on you.
Bring it!
That is a dirty 20 to hit.
Fucking hits. I'll take it.
That is 10 points of necrotic damage.
So half to 5.
Yeah, and you lose 4 points of strength.
Jesus.
So
So what does that do? Like bring this to
your modifier,
-3?
so your modifier should be down a total of 3 right now. What is your strength at currently?
Well, I was at +1, so now I'm at what, -2?
No,
Strength?
dude. No, I need to know what your actual strength is. And have you been keeping track of how much strength you've been losing?
Yeah, only. Jesus Christ.
I think it was 3, and I thought it was 3, and was it 3, 1, and then 4? No,
Where did the 1 come from?
I don't know. This is why I tell you guys to track
No,
it.
no,
when
no.
it
I just
happens.
got 3, and now you just said 4.
Okay. So I believe your actual strength is.
Sorry, guys. I'm not used to playing a strength-based character.
So your strength is 13. So if you've lost 7 strength, that means you would be down to 6, meaning
Jesus.
you have a -2 strength modifier right now.
-2. Gotcha. Cool.
Cool.
Hell yeah, baby.
And you're
The
down
challenge of
and
a
you're
dark
down
world.
to 8 strength. When your strength drops below a certain level, you are immobilized.
Oh, okay.
You can feel yourself, like the energy being kind of sapped out of you. With that being said, fuck, so many tabs. Arthur, that That was its attack. Yeah, it's going to slide down into the roots with its shadow stealth. You can attempt, and I should have been technically enforcing this whole time because, again, there is no light here. None of you guys have dark vision except for Greg. But I will allow an attack of opportunity here at disadvantage as it's trying to, like, seep away from you.
Do it.
Alright, yeah, of course I'm gonna do it. With the broken part of my spear, does that still count as, like...
It's a quarterstaff.
This a quarterstaff?
It's kind of bent and notched at the end where the spear... So it's not, like, perfectly balanced, but it'll do. And Borjo, you're technically still there, so you could technically take an attack of opportunity as well, if you wanted.
Okay, yeah, I definitely will.
It would be at disadvantage as well.
So, oh yeah, that totally,
So, I have a question for that then.
8 minus 2, 6.
Okay. And Borjo?
So if I rolled a 1 but I re-roll it because I'm a halfling, do I still roll again?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just have to take the lower of the two.
Okay. Uh, 11.
11. Let's see here. 11 does not hit, I'm afraid. You both kind of swing wildly at the shadow creature as it kind of seeps in between the crevices of the roots, going into the shadows itself. Both of your blades and axes kind of clinking into the roots as it kind of seeps away.
Why does this armor feel so heavy?
That's going to end their turn. The next one is going to now... one second. Nope. Yeah. Aaron, suddenly, as you kind of slash at this shadow creature that's engaged with Greg, you feel kind of wrenching from behind as a pair of claws kind of dig into your back, lifting you up off the ground. That is 9 points of necrotic damage. And your strength score is reduced by 1. As you can kind of lurch back and see from behind as you're being clawed and lifted, seemingly that same creature that slipped into the shadows of the roots that just took out the professor is now engaged with you. The other one, still facing off with Greg and technically yourself, turns on Greg. I doubt that a 9. Does a 9 hit, Greg? And that's the other two on the other side, so that ends their turns. No, they're gonna stay put. So, Aaron, you're up, and then Greg, you're on deck.
I guess I will. Do I still have advantage on the one that's attacking Greg? Was on Greg that I just attacked?
Yes, technically you are still in flanking position. I would say, yeah, you can still get advantage.
Okay, I will then, I guess, attack that one again.
So while you're kind of being clawed and lifted up, you grab your dagger and strike at the one in front of you, just at a higher vantage point.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and give me an attack roll.
21.
Yeah, 21 hits.
Yeah. Take this. Ooh, that's good. 14 damage.
14 damage to the one that's engaged with
The one that I hit
Greg.
earlier.
Yes. So beautiful. You slash through it again. You watch as the blade strikes through the shadow or shade a bit more as it splits a bit further, and it takes it longer to kind of close and reseal up. It looks like your attacks are definitely having an effect, and it's starting to look a little rough, but it's still kind of hard to tell. It's very dark. Technically, your advantage should have been canceled out with disadvantage because you don't have dark vision, right?
No.
But I need to remember that going forward. So help me remember that, guys.
Sorry.
No, it's my bad. It's already happened, so we're gonna keep moving forward. But yeah, you strike it, and it's looking pretty rough. So that's your attack.
Bonus action attack.
Okay. You
Do
pull
I have my other hand free?
You pull another dagger from your belt if you have another dagger.
I have 2 daggers and a short sword. So.
Beautiful. And you go for another swing. Again, it's just a straight D20 roll. Yeah. 2 does not hit, I'm afraid.
It's a dagger. Can't reach.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of being lifted and clawed at by this creature behind you. So that's going to be your action and bonus action. Is that going to end your turn?
Yeah, because I can't break free.
Gotcha.
Well,
You are
does it have me
are not currently under the grappled condition. It's more narrative
Gotcha.
flavor. So if you wanted to spin and slice, you could have done that. Kind of thing.
I understand. No, we're good. Yeah, I'm gonna say that it's my turn, sir.
Okay. So Greg, you are up, and then Doctor, you're on deck. Greg.
Oh, sorry, I was talking. My bad. Yeah, with the one that's right in front of me, that's somewhat wounded. I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Bad Luck Charm on him. That's one of my abilities. It gives him disadvantage on the next ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Okay.
So I'm
So it's
doing
just
that.
disadvantage on whatever his next roll is, basically.
Correct, absolutely, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so with that, I'm going to, with my freshly rehydrated body, I'm going to pull out my daggers. I'm going to wipe my daggers with my poisonous skin, and I'm going to do my grunt poison attack on him. So
What-
he has to make a.
What if you keep like your daggers kind of like wrapped up in your bandages, so they're like just nestled up against your skin when you're not using them, kind of like sheathed in the bandage, so that way when you pull them out, they're just like already coated with your sweat and poison.
And stuff.
That's pretty badass.
And I just pull him out, and I stab at the guy. What actually it says he just makes a DC 12 con save. Oh wait, what? I have to attack. I do a melee attack.
You do have to do a melee attack, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So
And you have a minus to strength, right?
I think like a minus
Or that-
1 or 3.
Oh no, but daggers are dex. Never mind.
Yeah.
14 to hit.
14 does hit. So go ahead and roll the dagger damage for me. And this is poison damage.
This is 6 piercing damage for the dagger, and then now he makes a DC 12 con save, and that would return.
But that's for poison damage, correct?
Yes. Well, the 6 is piercing from the dagger.
Mm-hmm. I'm tracking that. But the con save is for poison damage.
Yes.
Okay, so your dagger does make contact, swipes through the creature. You hear another screech in pain. It's looking super fucking rough. But the poison seems to have no effect on whatever this creature is.
Okay.
Darn.
So does he? Would that consume that bad luck charm save if it just doesn't even affect him?
I mean, it's still on him.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to stay there, and that's my turn.
Okay. So that's going to end Greg's turn. Doctor, will you please give me another D20, straight D20 roll? Come
Don't
on.
you want it private or whatever?
Yeah, so is there a way to send that privately?
I sent
I
you
guess
one
I could
earlier.
try
Did you get it?
Mm,
If you click on the dice
I
icon
tried
on
doing
the
self,
minimap,
and it still showed it.
no, if you click on the
did you just roll a
The dice
natural
icon?
1?
Yes, so let's not count it.
No, that counts. So that is automatically 2 failed death saving throws, Doctor.
Really great.
But he's a halfling. He gets to re-roll those.
Oh, he
No,
doesn't.
I'm not.
No, he's human, unfortunately. Oh.
So that's going to be the Doctor's turn. Back to the top of the round is Bourgeot. Arthur, you are on deck.
Alright.
You're both engaged with this vicious shadow creature as it kind of seeps down into the roots, disappearing from view.
So, just out of curiosity, if I were to pull my torch out and light it, would I be able to like swing it at this thing?
You could use it as a sort of kind of improvised weapon. It'd basically be I would treat it like 1d4 of like bludgeoning damage and 1d4 fire damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that then. I'll pull my torch out because I'm still
So-
struggling to see.
So it
I
is
don't
an
know.
action to pull out your flint and steel to light that thing up.
In the same turn, would I be able to swing it at this thing? Or no?
Like you do as a bonus action, because it's a light object. Kind of like a hand axe.
No, it's more about the time of like going through your bag to pull out the flint and steel to sit down and sit there and strike it to light it.
That's too much work. I'm just fucking taking another swing at this thing.
Okay, so the thing technically disappeared into the roots, into the shadows beneath your feet in this incredibly dark chamber.
I see the one that was attacking.
I'm going to say, since you don't have dark vision, and I'm going to stress this, and again I should have stressed this with Arthur earlier too, because apparently he doesn't have dark vision either. I just thought he did. So,
It's because you're thinking of
I
another
know.
trait.
I know. But unfortunately, neither of you can really see the professor on the other side of the room. Only Greg and Aaron can see him.
So, would I have been able to cast
I'm-
Shield of Faith?
I'm going to say, because I don't want to retcon anything, you blind casted and got lucky. You just felt where he was at and managed to actually cast. Because does it say a
Okay.
creature you can see or just a creature within range on that spell? Come on, in range.
You know, before I went down, I was gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
It says range 60 feet. A creature of your choice within range.
Beautiful. So you
go.
don't even have to see
Oh.
it. So it doesn't. Yeah, we're still within rules. So he could just feel
Yay.
out like Force style where the professor was when he cast it.
Magic knows where people are.
Sometimes.
My faith is strong.
So still works. But you can't see where the professor is. It's just a whole bunch of darkened roots everywhere. He kind of blends in with the darkness. Everything is just
Well,
so dark around you.
If I can't see anything and there's nothing for me to hit, then yeah, I'll pull out my torch.
I thought that was a
and
good idea.
As my action.
All right. If you're pulling, you already have it kind of pulled out off to the side. You kind of slung your greatsword onto your back. You pull out your flint and steel and spark it up and raise the torch on high. As you do, it fills this chamber, as far out as a torch can, with this, Arlant red and orange glow. And the creature that's currently engaged with Greg kind of just getting caught by the small fraction of the dim light at the edge of you raising this torch, it gives this kind of blood-curdling screech as though the light angers it to some degree.
Can I use my movement to run at it and wait and just get closer to it?
Yeah.
Like just wave it in front of him like Mummy.
Absolutely.
Like from the movie The Mummy where it's like...
Exactly.
As you kind of start to kind of leap and trudge and try to make your way over this large, like, oblong stretch of different size knotted roots, going towards it with your torch on high, you do feel a sudden lurch and claw at your back as you run by the creature as it was obscured from view. It will take an attack of opportunity.
He said, "Fuck you."
That is a 18 to hit.
I'll use my reaction to intercept. To
Uh,
help reduce that by 1d10 because he's still
It's
within
not the
5 feet.
surprise
of me.
round anymore.
don't you have to be within a certain range of him?
I have to be within 5 feet of him. He's still
He
next to me,
he
right?
started running, so he started making his way across the roots, and once he got so far, he encountered claws raking at him from behind.
He got 10 feet out, and then gotcha. Okay, cool.
Does an 18 hit Borjo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn these things.
Damn.
We're all really loving you right now, Aaron.
That is 14
Hey, Dark World
points of
campaign,
necrotic
baby.
damage.
Holy fuck.
They rolled max damage on that. And you lose, or you drop another 3 strength points.
Can I swing the torch at it as my bonus action?
You know what? I'll say, yeah. It's a straight D20 roll, but yeah.
Do it.
Get the fuck away from me! I swing my torch at it.
Nice.
Straight D20. Fucking 10.
Yeah, you just swing it wide and it kind of veers back trying to avoid the flame and it doesn't make contact.
And I guess how much farther can I get? Like, how close can I get to Gregard and them?
I'll say if you give me a solid athletics or acrobatics check, you can technically vault and leap your way down, because instead of climbing up, you are kind of going down, which is obviously a hell of a lot easier.
And I'll just stay up and just kind of like, I'll just hold the torch out and just provide light for everybody for now, and just call that my turn.
Okay, so that's going to end Borjo's turn. Arthur, you are up.
So I'm up. I see the light. He runs, and then within the flicker of the light, I see what I felt
About 10 feet away from you,
through my faith.
you can see this shadow creature kind of manifesting, coming up out of the shadows of the roots, striking at Borjo. Its back is towards you right now because it's striking at Borjo.
Okay. And I can see, since I cast Shield of Faith, because I felt something strange.
You
The
felt that
doctor's-
the
Do I
spell
see
took
the doctor?
You
Do
cannot
I
see the doctor.
or no?
No.
Okay, so I don't know. I see this shadow strike out at Borjo, so I'm going to.
I wish Starlick or Delmont was here.
I am going to. as in, hold on. Let me see. Is this an action or bonus?
You only got so many things you can do, my dude.
Yeah. I know.
Can't really see much further than like in front of your face. Maybe the 10, 15 feet in front of you.
That torch is on.
Oh, that's right. The torch is on, so you can actually see a bit more now.
And you can't see Chris.
I would say from where he's standing.
I'll make a perception check if you want.
Yeah, give me a perception check because kind of at the angle you're at, you have creature and you have Bourgeot in front of you before you see the kind of drop off down towards the doctor.
Yeah.
So
and it's like a pretty intense situation.
Exactly. Light just filled the room. What did you get on perception?
12. So
12.
Probably not.
With the light filling the chamber, I'm going to say it's not a difficult DC to see that.
It glints off his goggles.
All right.
There you go.
Then seeing the glint, and I guess maybe I just know he's in trouble.
The lightly blood trickled beard. Yeah.
There's a reason why I ended up casting that Shield of Faith. So I'm gonna end up just fuck all charging for him. The fucking.
All right, so give me an athletics or acrobatics check if you're trying to vault your way from root to root over to where the Professor, Greg, and Aaron are at.
With the athletics, does that count with the minus situation?
Correct.
Athletics.
Okay, then I guess
I'm gonna do acrobatics.
I'm gonna go with acrobatics, just trying to like maneuver, like just trying to use the momentum of my heavy armor.
So
with my body movement, I got.
Yeah, it's like there's not really using the momentum of your armor. Are you wearing a type of armor that gives you disadvantage on stealth checks?
Yes. Heavy armor gives you disadvantage on stealth.
Then I'm going to say that this is going to be an acrobatics at disadvantage.
Alright. Do it again. Not too bad. 15?
15? Oh, yeah. No, you managed to make it over there. You kind of slide for a moment where you have to, like, catch yourself. But with one final leap, you manage to land over. You're maybe, like, 5-10 feet away from Greg and Aaron.
Alright, sweet.
Professor's, probably about 10 feet away from you. So.
Yeah, I use whatever amount of movement I have left, I'll make my way to him.
It takes you all of your movement to basically get about 10 feet away from the Professor.
Cool. Damn. Okay. Well, I just. So that was my movement. Oh well, yeah. My action dash to the Professor and just ready to use my feet. That ends my turn.
Okay.
Wait, you had a dash to get to the Professor?
Yeah, he just said I used all my movement, and I can't.
If you had failed that athletics, you would have gotten like maybe halfway there.
So,
but he had to use a dash action to get there?
Yeah.
He chose to do that. He had about 10 feet away from the Professor from where he landed and stood after his athletics check. He then had an action and bonus action. He then chose to use his action to dash that last 5 to 10 feet.
If you guys are thinking mechanics, I have nothing bonus action wise for healing.
Yeah.
But in this moment, I'm like, shit, he's down. I'm making my way towards him.
I just couldn't imagine that he was over 30 feet away from you.
I don't know. It's pretty dark and rough terrain, kind of ish. So yeah, I mean that makes sense.
But I mean still, that would be more than 15
I never said
feet.
that I went very far away from everyone.
Yeah, I thought everybody was kind of cluttered together within 5-10 feet of each other, and then they all got attacked.
No, everybody was not all cluttered together. Everyone was in like different nooks and crannies. Technically,
because like
5, 10,
technically
15, 20,
Bourgeot
25,
and
30.
Arthur were kind of slacking behind because we got stuck with our armor and shit in the roots. So you guys got to further.
You have 30 feet of movement, correct?
Let me double. Yes, 30 feet of movement.
So looking at again, just a general breakdown of the maps that I have with an actual grid here. It is exactly 30 feet to make it to the edge of the cart from where you were standing, technically. The professor was on the other side of the cart, which is roughly about 8 to 10 feet in length. So that's
10 feet, yeah.
So you would have only been able to make it 1/3 of the way there with a failed athletics check. Again, I was giving you guys the opportunity to kind of ignore difficult terrain at certain points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely fine with this because I absolutely agree. This
you
is
were at a
higher
terrain.
I was at a higher ground. It's a bit muddy.
I'm fine with it. I just
even with
awareness,
the torch, it was still kind of hard to see. So
no,
but
it's
just
a big
my
chamber.
Determination. I'm like, shit, I gotta go get him. So there we go. Bam. I'm sitting there. I'm running over, still shield in hand, broken spear that I'm not even really noticing. Oh, right.
Alright. So that'll be the end of Arthur's turn.
I mean, unless my bonus action, if I was like running by a shadow creature, but I doubt that would be possible. No. You know what? No, because my focus would be on shit. The professor's down. He looks bad.
For sure.
Borgio is pretty fucking strong. He took out some bitches.
So, Borgio, the one that's kind of flown up behind you trying to strike, is going to take a strike at you. I am going to say he's going to do it at disadvantage because he's going like up close and personal with the light. Yeah, that's an 8. I'm pretty sure that doesn't hit. As he claws at you, you swing your torch wide in his face. His strike does not hit. Let's see here. The other one that's looking super rough, that's right in front of you, Arm, and the one that you're currently facing, Greg. It's going to try to take a swing at you, Aaron. That is an 8 to hit.
That misses me.
And then the other one that's currently clawing at you from behind also takes a swing, Aaron.
Shit.
Does a 12 hit?
No, sir. I'm nimble, luckily.
You're swinging wide at this one in front of you. You drop down to the ground. It goes for another claw break at you. It misses. So that's going to be both of their turns. So next in the order is Arn. You are up.
Oof. Think what to do. How's Greg looking? Greg's looking pretty rough too.
I'm 10 out of 14. I used the healing potion, that's why.
Well,
I mean, the one between us is... Sorry.
Hold on, I gotta think of what Aaron would do as he's... Yeah, he would...
Surrounded by shadows, fallen ally in front of you.
Yeah, he's gonna... disengage and apologize to Greg. Sorry, I gotta go help. And I move over to D's.
Alright, so you bonus action disengage, run over to the dock.
D's, I have 25 feet of movement. I can get there, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'll get over there, then I'll use my action and dump my one healing potion down his gullet.
Beautiful. So you kind of go into a baseball slide next to him, kind of lift up his head, pop the cork off, and jam the bottle down his throat. Go ahead and roll 2d4 plus 2, Arn, and that is how much you are healed, Doc. Excuse me.
You got 5 plus 2, 7. You got 7 hit points, Doc.
Sweet.
And that's the end of my turn. And I'll be like, I guess you let me RP a little flavor. Be like, these guys are tough. We gotta get going.
Do I still have to do saves?
Nope. You are now at 7 hit points, and you are just prone on the ground, technically coming to consciousness.
And you still have my Shield of Faith is still up, so
Correct.
I think your AC is at 20 now.
I don't know how to make the death save thing go away.
Just put a success in.
I did. I put 3 in.
Well, then go on like the heal wheel and just put 7 points into it, and there you go.
Should go away.
I guess.
Yeah, like go for health, type in either manually type in 7, or just use the wheel and put 7, and then press apply.
Weird. Because that actually covers up my thing there.
You see, as you guys kind of lock faces, Doctor and Aram, you can see what appears to be 2 solid claw gash marks across the cheek of the professor as he kind of starts to come to and locks eyes with you. Remaining battle wound from the injury that knocked him unconscious.
You'll be okay, buddy.
So that is your action, bonus action, and movement for the most part.
End of my turn.
So, Greg, you are up, and then Doctor, you're on deck.
Okay, I will make another dagger attack on the one that's right in front of me.
All right.
Great.
16.
Yeah.
16. That absolutely hits.
Good job.
3 damage.
3 damage. You kind of
should've-
bolster your feet, kind of lock into a light leap position, but instead of leaping forward, you kind of push back for a second, leap up, and immediately just jab down right with the dagger. As you start to drag it down its kind of amorphous body, you see it kind of ripping apart, and instead of healing and sealing shut, you watch as like almost wisps of smoke spill out as you are dragging your dagger down this creature, clefting it in twain as it dissipates and falls down to the ground. Moving no more. It was looking super rough. Now there's the one that just, as you kind of turn to look at Aaron, as this thing kind of fades from view in front of you, Aaron kind of clearly comes into view as he's being struck at by another shadow-like creature on the other side of him.
Well, I will just... I guess I'll run towards that one and I'll be right at its back.
You're already there. Shouldn't you? I think you'd already be there.
Oh yeah, I'll go in melee to the next one.
I was like, you can easily, I mean, if you really want to get mechanical about it, you can run and do an L shape around it and get behind it, if that's something that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So you guys can kind of get into a flanking-like position with this one that's currently engaged with Aaron.
Did Aaron run? Like he ran to, or...
Oh yeah, you're right. Technically, it would have just been behind you, as the one you killed dissipated. The other one is there, floating. You know, yeah. So
maybe like to his right or something, because I came from the side and I was at the side. Because I was flanking that one.
Again, just for simplistic sake, he's roughly 10 feet in front of you, Greg. So
okay, well, he's 10 feet in front of me, then I'll back away and I'll just.
Okay. Yeah, easily done. You kind of start to pull back closer towards the doctor and Aaron. So, and you guys kind of collect yourselves as you're kind of trying to check on the professor and maybe possibly kind of help him up again just for flavor. When it's his turn, he can stand up. And we'll say that's the end of Greg's turn. So, Professor, it's your turn. Greg just kind of rejoined you as Aaron went into a slide and rejuvenated you with this potion. Your face is sore. You can feel the gashes across your face and chest.
Arthur's right next to you, carrying his hand.
We had 4 of these creatures, and 1 is dead.
2 are dead.
2 are dead.
You don't
the
know
one
that.
nearest me
You're
is the
just
one that killed me. Yeah, I know. I'm just.
As you're starting to come
Anyway.
to and looking around, you can see what appears to be one kind of shadow creature currently engaged with Borjo as he's like fighting it off with a torch on that kind of makeshift Nightmare Before Christmas spiral route that previously Aaron was gauging the room on. And they're kind of more eye level with you to a certain degree. Now kind of focused in on the 3 of you kind of gathered together, another shadow. If you had to guess, it's probably the one that gave you this memento on your face.
Okay.
Currently floating upright, barely illuminated by the torchlight.
I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
On the one that hit you earlier?
Yeah.
You immediately come to on the ground. You start to raise your hand, not even standing up. You just focus this energy. What does this spell look like as you unleash this guiding bolt? Remind me what your spell color and work looks like.
It's a bright white light. It's just white as fuck, and it's gonna be blasting its way toward him like a big giant laser.
You go like this.
Nice. You do
Your
the
Hakusho
little like
style.
gun. You do like the gun finger.
Spirit gun. So yeah, you
Yeah, exactly.
hurl this pulse of this bright, like Bruce Almighty white energy from your hand, and I'll say you see as it makes contact these like little Arlent sparks that come off. Well, actually, first let's see if it hits. So you launch this bolt as it goes flying through the air. Give me a spell attack roll.
I clicked cast, and
You also have to click
Thank
you have to click the attack roll next to it. The hit
Okay,
DC
okay.
column. See that? It's probably say plus
okay.
4, plus 3. Cast will take it. Use a spell slot.
22.
Yeah, 22 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
4d6, baby.
11.
Yeah, as this bright white bolt launches to the air and makes contact with this creature, you see these almost like white lightning bolt / yellow sparks kind of emanate as it starts to drill into the chest of this creature, and you watch the light kind of fill up as it screams outright. The light fills, illuminating this room for one bright second as it
Nice.
immediately bursts and falls into shadowed wisps to the ground.
Nice.
It is moving no more.
Now everyone
radiant
has
damage
has
does
guidance, right?
radiant damage is amazing.
Yeah, these things are vulnerable to radiant damage. So.
It seems that way.
I
Anything
noticed it
gets
from the
one shot.
beginning. I was like, oh, shit,
So that's
I
a
need to
solid-
cast Guiding Bolt.
Yeah, that's a solid turn. Definitely decimated the creature. So that's your action. You still have bonus action and movement, Doctor.
Let's see. I think I'm not gonna do anything.
You're just gonna stay laying on the ground.
Oh well, yeah, I want to get up.
All right. So you use half your movement and you stand up. Dust yourself off for a moment. Feel the
then I'm
ache on
good.
your face, and that'll end your turn. So back to the top of the round. Borjo, you are up. Arthur, you're on deck.
Alright.
So there's just the one left on me.
Just the one that you're engaged with, yeah.
Alright,
And now you have advantage.
No, the one that you just hit died.
Yep.
So there's no advantage.
Oh, against this target. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It's all good.
well, I'm going to swing my axe at it.
So you're gonna drop the torch?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it on the ground next to me.
Throw it on the roots in front of you. Kind of at the feet of the creature.
Imagine this buff halfling can hold his two-handed axe in one hand and swing it just as strong with one hand.
Put the torch in your mouth.
He's raging.
He's got a raging boner
Foam
right
at the
now.
mouth. Oh!
No.
What John said, I'll put the torch in my mouth.
Isn't he raged? He can do it while he's raged.
No, torch in the mouth.
Oh, come on. That would be amazing. We're all cool here.
You gotta have a firm grip on that torch.
Alright, well, I'll drop the torch.
Hey, man, he's got a big mouth, okay?
Yeah, he can easily throw the torch at the feet of the creature. It kind of screeches back. You grab your great axe and swing it around.
Does a natural 20 hit?
Yeah, it does.
Does the natural 20 hit?
So how do we do this again for damage?
So if we're doing bloody crits, it's full dice damage, whatever that is, plus whatever you roll.
So 22.
Don't forget to subtract your lost to strength stuff.
Yeah, I added I did what John said and did the modifier, so it's already -1 to my damage. So I did an 8 damage plus 12, which is 20, plus my 2 because I'm raging, so 22.
22? Let's see. Yeah. You go to strike at this thing with your greatsword or your great axe with all the fury that you have. You throw the torch at its feet, kind of almost as a distraction. You kind of leap up, great axe overhead. As you're about to bring it down, how do you want to destroy this shadow?
I just am so pissed. I throw the torch at it, pull my axe out, and just poof.
And you kind of jump into the air and do this kind of like uppercut swing as you slice right through any tendrils that linked with the shadows before, severing it. And as it's kind of off kilter through that separation, still midair, you swing and switch directions, managing to literally just cut it in half with one fell. It fades away. No longer moving. And you find yourself in the dimly lit chamber.
Is there one more still left, or no?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, then, after seeing the doctor go up, and as I turned my head, I seen Borgio just do this massive strike, but I can tell he's breathing badly, so I rushed on over and I was like, Borgio, that was one hell of a strike. You're good, man. You're good. And as my hand touches him, I, through my racial feat, cast Cure Wounds. But also, as my hand was cut, my blood kind of like seeps into his skin, which you feel this slight warmth, this burn, but then it turns into a nice warmth, and it's going to give you an extra heal. So let me roll for healing.
So you're saying if we just like cut you open and like bathe in your blood, we can heal ourselves?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. So let's see, the cure wounds is 3 plus 2, so 5, and then I add a d10 to it.
I think there's a certain level of intent involved.
I guess.
Yeah.
My intent is to heal myself.
Yeah, from the source.
What if you willingly did it to us?
So you heal 14 points.
That's pretty good. I'm panting a little less now.
And then and then as I help you up, I'm like, great job. Here, let's make our way to the others. And I'm gonna touch my own self. And I'm gonna touch myself and give myself what is it? Healing hands for 5.
I'm going to put my axe away and pick up the torch again. So, do I have a healing potion, or did I use mine? I don't remember.
You guys have to keep track of that. If it's not written down, I'm assuming you used it.
Check my inventory.
Like, did you use it during the short rest before you guys got blasted away, or?
Actually,
I know I used mine last session.
I'm just gonna assume I used it. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna pump.
I think a lot of people use their one potion.
I think so.
I think I was the only one who didn't use it yet.
I think so.
And I'm looking like I'm kind of regretting it a bit because I'm hurt.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to take a moment to take a short rest to collect yourselves and use hit die, you guys each have 2 hit die.
I think I'm gonna go carefully search for the tools that I saw earlier before we were rudely interrupted.
Yeah, there's some just next to you in the kind of makeshift destroyed cart that's adjacent to you 3, and then there's some more kind of semi-buried and covered in roots, and another wagon that's just been completely enveloped by roots up on that upper ridge where you were at.
Okay.
Borjo?
I'm gonna stick my torch in the ground next to me and just fucking like.
I'm gonna light my other torch to give additional light.
Okay. Easily done. So the chamber is much more illuminated now. It's filled with the arlent glow of the firelight. And you guys kind of find little nooks and notches that you can kind of fit into as you kind of sit down and just catch your breath. Are you guys trying to take a short rest here? Is that what's happening?
I am, yeah.
I think we need to.
Yes.
Okay. So as you guys kind of sit back and try to collect yourselves, tend to your wounds, you may use however many hit dice you wish to use. Remember, for every hit die you roll, it's a -2, minimum of 1. So.
What's going on with our negative strengths, whatever, that is still applied?
Those are still applied until a long rest.
Oh,
So,
shit.
So just also too, so we get, when we take a short rest or long rest, do we only have 2 hit die, like, for the day, or how does that?
Until your next long rest, yep.
Until the next long rest? Okay.
And you
So
said it was.
basically-
Sorry.
So,
You
I
have
take
2...
a short rest, I just roll 1d12 for my hit die, and like and then I have 1 more left, basically?
Correct.
Okay.
And you said it was a -2?
It's
Correct.
-2, and it's always whatever your hit die is plus your Constitution modifier.
Alright, so I got a 12, so -2 would be 10.
So I rolled a 2 minus 2 is 0.
How do you have a D12? Do paladins have D12 hit die?
No, I have a D10 plus my con, which is 2, so that
Okay.
makes 12.
Gotcha.
But you said -2, so 10.
Correct. Correct.
And that's all my hit die because I used my special ability for the other.
Gotcha.
Can I, so I get to roll 2 for a short rest, though?
If you can use however many hit die you want to use on a short rest.
Well, I rolled a 0, basically, so I'm going to roll.
So that's a 0.
Holy fuck.
So that means your first
Oh, shit.
one you rolled
Oh,
1
yeah.
because you get a minimum of 1 HP no matter what
Yeah.
if you use a hit die. So if you rolled a 2, then that's a 1. And then what was your second roll?
A 7.
And then -2 from that. So in total you got 6 hit points back from your 2 hit die.
Alright.
And I have a quarterstaff now. No more spear.
Is anybody using any other abilities?
I'm gonna recast that.
Detect good and evil. You look around and you get small pulses of celestial energy from your spear wielding or currently staff wielding companion. You do definitely notice that your spear is broken at the tip now.
Yeah, so I deleted spear and I put quarterstaff
Yeah.
in my inventory. But I
Um,
still have a pike. Yeah.
yes.
Somebody
What
asked,
is this?
do we want to return these all to camp? Should we do that, or?
I mean, it probably took you, making your way through that tunnel and eventually making your way into this chamber is probably like maybe an hour's worth of journeying.
And does this stuff look like it'd be useful to the camp?
I mean, Aaron, I believe, was just about to notify you guys he had found something that he could collect for Yezhin, and that was when he noticed everybody getting attacked by the shadows. But
You got wings there, Aaron?
yeah, they look good. And
Sorry?
I will say,
Wings?
yeah,
I was eating chicken, sorry.
I will say as Borgio, as you kind of lean back and you're kind of healing up and you're doing a quick pass over the room as you kind of focus your this twisted energy within Greg as you try to sense the different celestial, fae, fiend, and undead around you. Professor, you're still feeling pretty exhausted, I would say, at this point, and your face again lightly clawed and your chest lightly clawed. Aaron, you start to kind of gather a couple of the tools and the remnants of the trap that you disabled, package that, and start to catch your breath as well if you're using any hit die and short resting as well.
I did.
If I rolled a hit dice and I got 6, does that mean I only got 4?
Correct.
Okay.
Is that taking into consideration your Constitution modifier? I assume D&D Beyond is, so, in the roll.
Yeah, it said 1d8 plus 2.
Yeah, so it is.
Oh wait, what does your Constitution modifier add to it? Like, I just rolled a straight D20 on D&D Beyond. I didn't roll an actual hit, or sorry, a straight D12. I didn't roll an actual hit dice.
Whatever your Constitution is.
Add that to my hit dice roll.
D&D Beyond technically would do it, but yes. Do I not have Borgio here in front of me? Yeah, I think Borgio is not in the same group as everybody.
Aaron's Campaign of Many Things.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah, I just rolled a straight D12. I didn't roll an actual hit dice, but I do have a +2 to my Constitution, so...
So then, yeah, you would have gained 8 points / No, technically you would have gained 10 points of healing from both of those hit die that last time.
I have a question. It says, like, when I do my lay on hands, it can cure a disease or neutralize a poisoning effect of a creature. Like this necrotic damage that we took, it wouldn't be considered as none of that, right?
The strength draining? No, that's...
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is not how it works. But
Do we see anything useful in this room? I guess
mostly just the trap components that were one of hopefully many that you potentially find for Yezhin. The old tools might be of interest to.
I'm picking those up. I'm picking up some of those tools.
I'd pick up the tools too.
Okay. So you can just put in your notes, kind of old tools or ancient tools. Let's see here.
Is there any type of weaponry laying about, or like?
There's your spearhead on the ground there.
It's kind of snapped
Yes.
into. It's kind of like nailed into one of the roots and snapped off.
Can I try and take it, remove it so we can take it with us?
Do you have a kit that would have some kind of pliers or tweezers?
I know I have a crowbar.
I'll say give
Hold on,
me...
I'm looking to see what else I got here.
Here, let me try to just pull it out.
I got a piton and a crowbar.
I mean, if you use the piton to kind of like hammer it out at an angle, yeah, it'll take a minute or two, but yeah, you can get it out. It's no problem.
All right, I'll get out his spearhead and return it to him. I was like, here, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
You might be able to use it. You know, a braid is a blacksmith. Maybe he can repair your spear.
Oh, I hope so. What's a lancer without a spear?
What's a lancer?
And as Aaron says, "What's a lancer?" And everyone starts to collect themselves and rejuvenate slightly, that's where we'll go ahead and call tonight's session.
Yay. We survived! What?
I barely survived.
Seriously. Archimedes almost bit the dust there.
Yeah, and those creatures are marked as 1/2 challenge rating.
I had one turn.
Man, fuck that necrotic damage. Man.
I think if Archimedes would have not went down, we probably would have ended that quicker, but...
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's just how the dice roll.
My bad roll, yeah. Like, if I would have rolled better for initiative.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's good for a cleric to be lower in the initiative, actually. But
it's better. It's just poor rolls. He hits you really hard.
Yeah.
I would have instantly killed one.
But you guys,
hoping that...
managed to clear out a whole chamber.
It took Aaron a couple turns to understand what he needed to do. Yeah, that too. Like, first he thought he could use his melee, but that wasn't enough.
No.
It took he noticed that there was actually some white light, right, from Arthur's attack, and that thing just died instantly. But then he attacks, and it doesn't die at all. So there was always some connection. And then no one got... Archimedes was still down, so he's like, I go help him.
For sure.
So that's why he used his potion at that time.
Appreciated.
Yeah, thanks to Borgio lighting that torch, because, we couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
That quick thinking, man.
I was under the impression that in this area, it's just like we have like a natural vision. Your eyes adjust when it's being in the dark for so long, just naturally. So we naturally can see things, even though it's dark and it's not that.
Yeah, but it's
still have.
It's still very, very limited. Because I remember when I used to go cavern exploring, it was like, even though my eyes got adjusted, it was still hard as fuck to see.
The map shows tons of light in that room.
Yeah, see, that's the bad thing with these maps, you see light and you assume.
This
that's
is just so you can actually
imagination.
see the map. If there was no lights, it would just be a big black cube, a big black
There's
square.
The orange lights. I thought those orange lights were like lamps everywhere, or fire along the walls.
Not really.
That's why you shouldn't assume everything.
Yeah.
Because that's like,
if I don't
when I saw you go down, but
it's
then
video
it's
game
like,
logic. That's the problem.
I was questioning myself.
Right.
I was like, could I cast Shield of Faith? But then I'm like,
that's
if
why
I can kind of sense your aura, I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing about that spell is it does not stress a need for visibility. That's why I was like, I'm not going to retcon it because I don't need to. You just kind of cast in the general direction, hoping that it would help an ally. But that's where we'll go ahead and call the recording. If we have questions, you can continue to ask me questions. But that's where we'll go ahead and end tonight's session. I hope you all enjoyed.